Yada yada. Look at Mr. Yada Yada here. I need to remember what Neko no te okarite. Because I remember that's like a set phrase, Neko no te. Shorthanded. I see. It's like if you could even like want even a cat to help you right now. Naruhodo. Sorry if your one stock voice line is just like, damn, I'm tired. Me too. For your free glowing box. Not too much to see here. Look at his desk. Upstairs, not the downstairs. Here it is, same icon. Like a camera zoom button. Kind of just run around seeing what there is around here. Can we get into any of these classrooms? No, but there is a fun box in the hall. Thank you for the fun box. We are being very quiet tonight. Can we run to the bathrooms? I don't have to go to the bathroom, it says. Fine, I'll not go to the bathroom. Hello. Normal colored hair man. With a sprite. Cho Tensai no Jika. Look at this guy. Hey, don't just take me outside. Let's exploring.
みんなどうだった？いやー大成功。結構うまくいったじゃん。
これだけわかればきっと。
よっしゃ。それじゃまずは顧問の先生だ。職員室に行って顧問の先生と話そうぜ。
I'm gonna ignore that and explore the third floor as I intended. There's something that's funny about the way people run off in cutscenes in games like this. With the proper, like, Final Fantasy XIV kind of like, you know, kind of turn on the spot and run off kind of feeling. Hello. Alright, screw that guy. Goodbye. I'm not cool enough to fight him. Thank you for $50. Thank you for the $52. I'm trying to change my deck sleeves, actually. Not this. Accepted. Deck menu. Leave behind pull. Oh my god, look, now it can be sick ass penguin. Let us be the where I'd love to just like, you know, have that be default for everybody. But like, oh well. it's like, do you want to read random moves? What's up? You can buy sleeves. Emblems, okay, sure. So I can get some funny cards if I need them. Are these like good? Countdown 3, do 6 damage to your leader. It's a witch card. It's gotta be a witch card. Yep. No, it's a vampire card. Do 6 to your leader. At the start of your turn, heal 2 and draw a card. Ooh. Funny sort of amulet. Okay. Idiot does not. We don't understand rarity. For the sleeves here, we got acceptable looking anime things. I am missing a lot of cards still, to be honest. I mean, you do get $1 per match, which is a nice amount of cards. Oh yeah, I love getting Jiken Kaishi. Well, that's a fitting thing for the science room. They would do that. Let's see. If you want to know more about Shadowverse, go to the Shadowverse Steam. Oh man, puzzle quests. That sounds sick, actually. I love those kind of things in games. It's like everyone talks about Shadowverse, but no one knows about what the Shadowverse Club is. We love it, but not that much. Can we go up? Oh, it's a town. Okay. This one's blue. I wonder if that means I have never been down. That's what it's for. Well, thanks for the gold. I feel like I'm saying thanks for the gold in like the most like Reddit voice possible. Right, let's go and buy some packs. Or like use our 2 packs that we've got. I'm going to skip the animation because I'm lame. Anything fancy? I guess the gold ones come. No, how are these sorted? Let God sort out the rest later. I kind of want to switch to like a rune burn deck or something. I wonder, do we have any good deck codes at the moment? We're just like starty ass decks. I'd like to honestly modify my dragon deck to be a little nicer. Let's see if we can just kind of like fudge this a little bit. Let's see, so I assume these are decocting filter. Show me only dragon cards. That did not work in the slightest. Filter. Show me only dragon cards. Alright, so this card replenishes itself, and otherwise it's just like a normal S1 2. Let's see what we got. Cool Guy of Storm. Yeah, honestly a 2-1 is kind of fine. Think about taking it. Here's just 1-4, it's chilling. These guys bonk random dudes, which is kind of useful, honestly. And these are nice 4-2s when you're running late, but let's get rid of one of these fighters. Herasu. And then put us to these guys. Let's see, the start of your turn. If these guys are, they turn to a 5/5 if they stay alive for a turn, and you're awakened. That's actually kind of funny. Let's get rid of some normal fighters and put in 2 of those guys then. Let's see what else we got. One board, sure, whatever. One board is usually not what I need, honestly. Destroy 1 follower that's been damaged. Grab an expensive boy from the deck and make it cheap. I mean, it is a nice self-replace. Milk parts for hand. Oh, that's something that's actually pretty useful. I could use one of those. There's some cool guys to get ward later. I don't really care about this guy. He becomes competent if you have a... So these guys kind of blow. Get out of here. Focus on getting... Like, I'm gonna keep saying getting PP up and then like kicking myself for it, but also it's true. This guy can't attack. Can't be attacked? Weird. Okay. 4/4, a 4 that becomes a 4/5 if it doesn't suck. I can consider swapping out some other. This is like a 4/4 that's 3. Not really happy about it. Rather put in. Change one of your followers into a dragon. Like the cool 5/5. I mean, it has funny edge cases because you could like take a damaged enemy and just be like, well, or damaged dude, and just be like, hello, you're healed now. I guess that's not really worth. Like these seem like a nice kind of. You can get a 4/5 shield when you're rushing. Might be better than some. Like I feel that's better than 2/6 to be honest. So let's take that out. Thing that makes your deck cheaper. Also, that means it's 4 for a 5/5. I kind of like that. This is just a plain old stat stick. Oh no, it's a 6/6 with shield. See, that's more spicy. This is like a 6/5. It's okay. I just feel so. Here's Forte. Everyone's Forte. You can just drop a 5 cost and Forte will just is coming to go zip. We gotta love Forte. Get out of here. Other characters are lame. 2/6 shield, whatever. 6/5, whatever. I like this better because I'd rather go for value. I mean, I kind of run low on card draw at the end, to be honest. This gives me cards, but it's expensive. Here's like, just like, it's an 8/8. It's fine. It's beefy. See, what I really need is something that lets me get cards. Like, I basically have no meaningful card draw right now, which kind of sucks. I need something that, like, you know... Like, here's your follower. Destroy something. Here's this normal shield. Whatever, destroy some stuff. I don't want to destroy. I need draws. Like, anything to draw cards, please. At least Last Word lets you mill cards. Gives you a smaller deck, but only, or at least Bellringer will let me mill cards. I just need something, like anything. Is 6/5 worth it? Not really. Alright, get out. You're gonna get bell rung. Oh man, I just need spells and stuff. Let's save. What we've got. How do we change the deck design? You can choose like what card from your deck is on top of it. Well, then it's Forte, I guess. Let's go. Alright, Forte, do something. Let's go to the teacher zone. They're already on the correct board, thankfully. Holy crap, double A? The fairies have no interest in me. I'm sorry that I would get completely bodied by your fairy craft deck. I would just be completely hopeless.
Nanda? シャドーバブを探してる？ま、頑張ってな。
うわ、ちょっと待ってください。
なんだよ、先生あれだぞ。それなりに忙しいんだぞ。プリントとか作ったり作んなかったりするし。
I'm always busy printing.
さすがマキセ先生、聞く気なしって感じじゃ。けどここで引き下がれるかよ。顧問の先生の名前を言おうぜ。そうすればマキセ先生も話を聞いてくれるはずだ。
Oh my god, it's you. You're the man.
へえ。
まさかマキセ先生が顧問だったなんてな。めちゃくちゃもう牛。
盲点かな。
I think it's Molten. I also don't know what Molten is.
そう、盲点だった。
龍ヶ崎、国語の補習やろうな。まあ正解だ。けど当てずっぽうかもしれないしな。
当てず。Yes, we're true, accurate. 当てずぽう。Oh, it's 当てずいど。
それじゃ先生から質問だ。シャドーバブの物質どこにあるか。
へへ、それもうその通り。シャドーバブの物質がどこにあ。
I remember this one.
正解。よく調べてきたな。
I was reading.
先生、俺たちシャドバがめっちゃ好きなんです。
We love playing the only thing that anyone in this town talks about.
部活やりたいじゃんね。
お願いします。部員にしてください。
いいよ。
めっちゃあっさり。
いいけど急いだ方がいいかな。
それって
部室に行ってみたらわかるって。そんじゃ先生はこれで。
This guy's like kind of an asshole and also kind of just like really lazy.
意味深だ。
じゃんね。とりあえず部室に行ってみるしかねえよな。
Weird triangle ass school. The mysterious question mark
校舎の
room.
3階で。
理科室の隣だから。
うん、ここだな。
誰もいな
なんか幽霊
It's like, we gotta hurry to this club because we're out of.
行くぞ。失礼します。誰？もう
Oh, it's gonna be the fucking game. No. Excellent. I am attempting to get my chair at the right height here, so pardon if you hear a lot of bonking.
今声したよな。
Welcome to the spooky ghost room. This man pride does not even use witchcraft. Not witchcraft. No, witchcraft is one thing. What's the fucking zombie craft? I don't remember what it's called.
でもどこから聞こえてくるんだ。本当に幽霊？
違うよ、絶対違う。幽霊なんていないよ。うん、いない。天気つけよう。
Oh, it's just a weirdo with a Gundam. Well, this little like figurine in the background. This kid's got Pogger's hair though.
出たか幽霊。やっつけるぞ。シャドバで。シャドバ？任せとけよミモリ。シャドバなら何だって超えられる。
そうだよね。シャドバなら。
よし行くぜ。バトル。
ちょっと
シャドウ。
待ってください。
Poor kid.
幽霊じゃないよ、生きてるよ。ごめんね、僕は早乙女レイ。君たちもし
そうシャドバ部に入りたくて来たんだ。すっげえ探したじゃん。
そうな
Just
んだ。
gone door to door, man.
レイってシャドバ部の
Get
部
it?
員なんだろ。
Day? Like you day? Great.
頼む。俺たちシャドバ部に。
気持ちは嬉しいんだけど。
Our club's gonna be disbanded because it's just me and this
ど
one
うしてだよ。
Forte figure in the back.
って言っちゃったことはごめんなさい。
違うんだ、謝るのは僕の方だよ。
天生学園生徒会執行準備。
今の声ってみんな行ってみようぜ。
Oh.
だって全部僕のせいなんだから。
What's Mr. Oh, there's two things. You got the bell ringer and the Forte. I wonder if that's just like all the cards I have.
さっきの声って多分生徒会長の霧雨神楽先輩だよね。
Kirisame. That's a name I should remember easily.
そうじゃんね。怖いってみんな。
Oh, hell yeah, just go crazy.
私の予感は当たるんです。やはりいましたね。
神楽先輩、何なんだよこれ。
世の中は結果が全て。これはマナーかつ常識です。
Oh, that's like your fucking phrase.
よって本日をもちましてシャドバブを廃部とします。
Shadowverse is illegal. It is too cool.
廃部？
そんな。
ちょっと待ってくれよ。
いいえ、冗談ではありません。ですよね、早乙女レイ部長。
そうか。
シャドバブは廃部。ごめん。後のことは僕に任せて。みんなは帰って大丈夫だよ。
ああ、そうだよな。引き下がれるわけねえ。神楽先輩、お願いします。廃部を取り消してください。俺、みんなでシャドバしたいんです。 その方が、それにこのまま放っておけない。
なるほど。生徒会長としてその意見は認めましょう。
Here come all the grunt
納
dudes.
得させるには足りません。言葉でなく結果で示す。
The fucking these dudes are gonna beat the shit out of me.
行こうぜ。シャド
I can't believe.
そういうこと。
Are we gonna have like unwinnable battles in a card
シャ
game?
ドーバース。
Is their deck gonna be so good that they just like body me to death? I hope this is like an unwinnable battle. Oh, and I'm fighting a grunt. Whatever. Their ass is grass. Nightcraft. I don't remember what Nightcraft.
よろ
Sword
しく
craft.
頼むよ。
Alright, get back out of there. We're about going fast now.
廃部になんかさせないよ。
Oh man, I have dialogue. I say interesting things.
ターンエンド。
You don't say interesting things because you're just a dude.
どうだ。どうしよう。行くぞ。隊長。
Oh man,
任せてください
it's。a bunch of small dudes team. This will not be that useful, but at least they will be annoying.
どうだ。仲間ってのはいいもんだ。
It's getting crowded. I need a board wipe kind of thing.
ターンエンドだ。
It's like not kind of interested. Let's go face and hope we don't have anything that buffs all these guys. There's some better value prop later, but I'm playing it's already happening.
Yosh. 鈍いな。
Really just like all small dudes.
これが私の当てか。どうしよう。行くぞ。
Alright,
隊長。
enjoy your dude.
任せてください。
I'm gonna wipe them all in the turn. Or you can do this if you want. I would like to get shield, but I don't really need it at the moment still.
我は天空の番人
Then we'll get some fun things.
どうだ。
いくらで雇ってくれるんだい？
Honestly, this is 7 is kind of weak. Like a 4/4 just because it does 4 damage is kind of like it's kind of cringe. So let's drop more stuff and just keep going face.
私は死を守る者
俺とこいつは二人で一人。
Look at that. We're
空を
getting some good
汚
numbers.
す者よ
やばいかも。
Should be an easy lethal.
割に合わね
これが私の当てか。どうだ。
乗り
剣を掲げよ
Short for lethal, I guess. We'll probably have all this now. They're just gonna let me win. Okay.
空を汚す者よ
よっしゃ。
え。これで最後よ。
強いな。
I've exploded that man.
いいバトルだったね。
よっしゃ。
なんとか勝てた。下がりなさい。
神楽先輩。
龍ヶ崎ヒーロー君。私は何の約束もしていま。
俺。そうかも。
そうだったね。
だったらどうする。
しかし結果は見せてもらいました。やっ
We're good enough at shadowverse that she has decided to delay.
あくまでも延期です。部活としての条件を満たし、部活としての必ず廃部にし。
I hope I get like game over if I like suck this
反
game.
論は受け付けません。 しかし質問ならば受け付けましょう。
ヒロ、俺たちじゃろくなこと聞けないじゃんね。確かに。
そんな堂々と。
よし、任せたぞ。ビシッと聞いてくれ。
I hope I get to ask either a funny question or a cool question.
いい質問ですね。部活としての条件、それは規定人数の部員を。天聖学園では7名以上
Seven
の
people for
部
a
員が
club?
いな
It's
ければ
fancy out here. Come
部
on.
活としては認められません。
なるほどじゃんね。今あと2人集めればいいってことだ。
そうだね。
他に質問は。いい質問ですね。部活としての結果とはその実力。
公式に
Gotta go win the Shadowverse Cup to keep
簡
my
単に言え
school
ば
thing up otherwise.
大会での優勝です。それって全国大会で優
We're
勝。
going to fucking nationals. Let's
こ
go.
れ全国大会で優勝。
面白い。
他に質問、もう質問はないようですね。
I like how like jank the
これで
dialogue branching for this game is.
まずは部員を7人集めてください。話はすべてそれからです。
わかった。いろいろありがとな、神楽先輩。
先輩には敬語を使いなさい。マナーかつ常識ですよ。
Manakatsu.
ひょへへ、噂通りに怖い人だったじゃんね。だな。でもなんかとりあえず。ああ、
Oops.
あのさ、本気で部員を集めるつもりなの？
もちろん。レイ、俺たちでシャドバブを復活。
そうだね。
明日になったら友達に話してみてもいいかも。もしかしたら部員にな。
おお、レイも頼むじゃんね。
でも難しいと思う。3年生はいろいろ忙しい。
Who's old?
僕。
マジか。なんなら後輩。
やっちゃった。
気にしないで好きに呼んでよ。
わかった。じゃあ俺はレイ。お、俺も。
私は
構わないよ。今日はもう遅いし。
だな。明日から部員2人くらい楽勝じゃんね。
きっと
そうだ。連絡先交換しようぜ。おお、いい。
シャドーバブ復活か。
青春. Well, we're home again. I've got a new trophy, and it's also late as hell at night. Couldn't fight anybody at night. Everyone's just like chilling in their dorms. Girl, you are too close to the TV. What do you got for me? Fun old vending machine. New fun cards to purchase. They're all holy crap. I legit don't remember what it's called. Draw a card. Do fun stuff. Okay. It's just like a rotating sort of thing. Look at that cute little sign. Don't do fire. Look at these two stare at each other. They're like, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for me too. What's up, shy girl in the corner? Oh no, she's shy. Goodbye. Let's go obliterate this man. Oh man, who's got untouchable. It's like a mid-range. I'm sure it's a mid deck if you're going to be so like, well, I hate getting damage. Do not damage me. Oh, we've got a little fancy like broken hexagon guy now. Forte's just gonna sit here and animate at me. Ooh, what a brick man, though. I hope he also enjoys stalling, I guess. Draft you again, huh? Destroy my character, see if I care.
ごめん、少し休むね。私、強くならなきゃ。
I'll drop a 5, I guess. That's fine.
野心様には近づけさせます。
野心よ、私に力を。行くぞ。
Oh, we're getting spicy, huh? What do you do?
私は写真様と一つになるのです。
ごめん、少し休むね。
3-5 shield. Oh man, that's funny. Then when that dies, we'll get some more shielding out there. It sucks, whatever, sure, fine. Blow up this guy, it'd be funny. Get out of here, man.
邪神様の仰せのままに。あれは災いなり。
Whatever. Are you in a dragon craft? Yeah, you're just like a standard 6-5. It's fine. Honestly, I could probably replace these. Like they're good for. They're good in this.
我が行為の前に食らいつけせ。
Could be.
野心様。
I mean, this is lethal. Which is... Scout, it's
主
a
の
tiger.
意向を恐れなさい。その身に天の祝福を刻んでやろう。
Wow. I'm not worried. Oh, she got like a whole thing going? Alright, go
これ
crazy.
が我が波動。
Fine. I wonder if that's gonna happen every time. Anyway, time to win.
これでどう？
Ship pool evolve thing also.
我が生き様。波動。弱きは
Oh wait,
つ
no,
い
my
える。
numbers. Wait, no, it's just an 8-4, right?
食
Not
らい
crazy?
つけせ。
これで最後よ。
やるな。
I should get more experience being
いい
good
バ
at
トル
my
だった
deck.
ね。
I want to see what class these are. I'm kind of annoyed that it doesn't show the class, obviously. I guess it's just like the class of whoever I'm fighting, huh? Kashin. Sacred, fine. True. Give me my cards. So that's my room. Hello, I missed your entire discussion point.
初と。
Iro atta.
そっかそっか。よかったよかった。君の部屋はあそこの角を曲がるとす。ああ、消灯時間は10時だから。
Go to bed, he says.
うん。
I will go to bed. Watch me. empty little room. I assume I'll get to decorate it later. Say it in order. Okay. Oh man, thanks for the food, bro. That's so nice. Here's the bed. Here's the generic bathroom. There's my shoes. Do I get eating animation? I do not. How is Inat? What a weird name. I always love chat apps. Show me the weird ass Fern sticker. Are we gonna do a dramatic cut into like?
まあ構いません。
What is your mysterious Seitokai plans gonna be?
私はただ私のなすべきことなすだけです。
Chapter 2, let's go! Blop. I slept well. I'm jealous. Inat is just like such an unsexy, like. Hello, group chat. Thank you, Mimori, for the group chat. Good video game. It's time to go to school.
おーいみんな
Let me take a second and see if I can. Y button. Let me make this. Let's go and kind of this. It'll feel more natural. Wait. Sorry. I just sound like the freaking ReZero character. Whatever. It's fine. Let's spell this. Betty Sue. Wait. Wait. Hamun daijoubu. I got mail. Just check mail. Hello. I checked this last night, man. I don't know what you want from me. Inat. It's called Inat. Inat? Get your butt already. Nothing new there. I wonder if they'll have like unique like cards that I just gotta go buy at every single shop terminal.
いやー、ここが寮か。でっか。お、
Sorry if you're too lame and you gotta commute
あ
from
れ、
home.
どうした？おお、そういう学生寮見たことないなと思って来てたけど、よく考えたらこの時間じゃゆっくり見る暇なかった。まあいいや、お前にも。
Alright.
あのさ、お前ってなんでそんなにシャドバうま？
Why am I
俺
so
も
good
シ
at
ャドバ
Shadowverse?
大好きなんだけどさ、あんまうまくないじゃん。
Oh, this kind
ラ
of
ンク
sucks.
もまだ C ランクだし。あ、シャドバにはランクがあるんだ。ランクってのは、いや違うか。なんだほら、
シャドバの強さかな。
Mimori comes in to deliver the tutorial. Hello, good
お
morning.
お、ミモリー、ナイスタイミング。
おはよう二人とも。シャドバにはね、ランクっていうのがあ
I love this
って、
like infinite wall.
強いプレイヤーほど上のランクにいるんだ。C ランクから始まって
B A ダブル A これを超えるとマスターランク、さらに超えると
Hell
グ
yeah,
ランドマ
Masquerade.
スターランク。
Oh shit, there's like
ち
hella
なみ
ranks.
に私もヒーロー君も C ランクだよ。
Wow, everyone
マ
sucks.
スターにまでなれたらプロ並みかも。
グランドマスターは世界に何人かしかいないんだよな。
そうそう、慣れちゃったらもうすっごく特別な人だよ。
まあグランドマスターは無理でもマスターくらいにはならないとじゃんね。
でもその前に部員を探さないとだよね。あと
やることいっぱいじゃんね。
あ、チャイム鳴っちゃっ
やべえ、ちょっと話す。
たね。
Must power walk elegantly. No breaking. I love how your faces kind of all just show in the room, in the corner of the window of the door.
おお、おはよう。え、嘘。あだ、
Just chilling here, being early.
ヒーローが遅刻してないじゃんね。
今日って雨かも。
なんだそりゃ。俺だって
あったかな。
ない。ちょなあ。お前まで。いやさ、今日からシャドバブの部員を探すだろ。
だから早起きできた。
そう普段から遅くまでシャドバやらなきゃちゃんと間に合う。それはまあとにかくあれだ、今日から部員探し
その前に授業を頑張れよ。
はい、楽しみだな。授業終わったら
There's nothing up there in the ceiling. It's fine. The end of school. Trying to beat that guy. If there's any new like stuff to see. Oh, we got the card for the school. The card for the what's the word? Class or the club room. That's the word. Excuse me. Yeah, I think these all just sell different rare cards. Oh, nothing for dragon right now. Quite tempted to build a cool dragon deck once we get better cards. I'm refraining from buying
よー
ones.
し、部員探した。
ヒーロー君、いきなり探す。
え、なんだよ。
さっきね、少しクラスの子に聞いてみたんだけど、2年生は
となると2年生は無理かな。
Only
おお、そっ
ask babies to
か。
join.
なあなあ、なんかいい案あったりし。
Let's ask dog and cats. That should be really fun. Actually, I would want a dog and cat to join the club. It's one of those like I probably could have picked the joke answer. Oop.
せっかくだし、
Accidentally hit
探すだけじゃなくてバトルできそうな相手がいたらバトルしようぜ。そっちの方がいろいろ話してくれるかもしれないし。
Okay, so third floor is
それじゃ
Green Cat
行く
Master
ぞ。
Music.
おー
Hello, generic ass person. Do you want to join the club? No, because you look boring as hell. Your ass, it's grass. Hello, generic guy who needs to study.
全力でバトルしようね。
よろしく頼むよ。
I'm gonna beat you up. I can't accelerate, I have no point being here.
Turn end.
So excited about that turn in. Dragon.
立ち去るのだ。私が渡しているうちに。
どうだ。
私寂しいの。
Get out of here.
後悔することになるぞ。
That port control,
Turn end だ。
Let's get some big boys that are gonna annoy me later. Did I drop to 6 early? Next turn, we'll have 5. That was fine.
私は死を後悔することになるぞ。
これで。行くぞ。
Be annoying, okay.
死を乗り越えるか。
Me. We'll evolve you just for
進化だよ。
extra damage.
あと後悔することになるぞ。
よ
I wonder
し。
if you can skin.
よし。
Ouch. I wonder if you can skin the
我は
shadowverse
天
game.
空の番人。
Like whack-a-mole games that look like this to look more like kids anime.
これで。
私寂しいの。
Are you gonna evolve out, my dude?
進化だ。
Or... Okay.
私は誰かといたいだけなの。
私が落ちるだと。
Yeah, all these board wipes, nothing to do.
あれは災いなり。
So these are kind of like, I mean, like, I get it, it's like a 6-5.
これで。
Or 6-5 It's like, it's not actually that good. It was bad. Whatever. Forte you do this instead. Just end it every turn with a change.
これが我が波動。
I mean, it's
弱
fun.
きはついえる。
I'd like it more if it was like, the character like, scared of up and grab move, sorry, Forte. Bum bum.
いいバトルだったね。
$2, I appreciate that. Kai, he's got a new name. Ijuin Kai. He's kind of a weirdo. Oh, it's that guy. Yeah. I mean, you kind of know it's that guy, but like spiritually, you're like, oh, it's that guy. I wonder if I've already gotten all the cards I can get from the. Let me turn on a default run. Do I need? Let's see. Normal or simple. So I can make it faster if I want. Let's see. Jibun cut in. Yeah, sure. Finish, cut in, it's cool. Turn, Kakunin, it's cool. Shikakaku, no. Controller, so it's, whatever. I do need all these things. We'll turn on. Audit run. I think saving happens automatically, but in case. Now we auto run. We're in a hurry. Have I gotten all the cards from you? Oh man, Fafnir. I do not want Fafnir in the slightest. Oh my god. I think I have already all these that I really care about, so goodbye. You are the weakest link. Already maxed out those guys. See, there's 8 classes here, and I don't have one of them. Which one do I not have? What is this? That's vampire. Oh, there's 2 dragon things, that's why. I mean, these guys are 1/2s that let me draw a card. I'm never really that excited about dropping a 1/2. I guess it's good because it reduces the amount of cards in my deck, but I don't want to draw it still, compared to clear stuff out. Alright, vampire friend. Oh no. Rip. I like how they probably do just lead into battle and attack them. I'm glad she's excited. I'm sorry Battle Shadowverse is not a sexy phrase. You should have tried better side games. Playing the Gothic, you're fighting in vampire music, but it's like the club room, so lol. Oof. Nine PP cannot come fast enough. Yo, that's sick. I love cards. I'm not gonna play here.
よし、いくらで雇ってくれるんだい？ターンエンドよ。
I don't have any fun effects, right? Okay, so she could evolve and take me out, but I think it's unlikely. That's a prompt feature. Good play. Ding dong.
Ding dong, ding dong.
I want cards, please. I'm gonna put a 7 next turn, so I should just put it up there.
隣に合わねえな。よし、魔法の鎧、素敵でしょ。よしよし。
Weirdly not pushing yourself into over damage yet. Alright, give me cards. Actually, this works pretty well. Yeah, for the before that is better than I think.
美しいなんて。
It's like it's good, but it's really only to do attack. It's a problem. Like, not, when it's mentioned for like that, maybe it's actually not too bad, but I'm just that's all decent damage. Shoot below 10. God, go. You're gonna go face or what? Let me win. Thank you.
強いな。
いいバトルだったね。
fine. That's fine. It's okay. Excuse me. I should not blow up the mic like that. But that's how I'm gonna get to the stadium too. What
も
a
しかしてシャドバスタジアムに行くのかな。
love the look of this kid.
あ、そっか。僕もそのつもりだったんだ。シャドバ好きな人に会うにはあそこが一番だしね。
Smart, true, accurate.
「君たちが来てくれていろいろと変わったよ。もし
And it's such a downer.
なんでもない。
Man,
シャ
seems
ド
like
バ
a
ス
bit
タ
of
ジ
a
アム
stretch,
は
but
商店街を抜けて駅前に出たら左手の通路を降りるとすぐだよ。
I hope I remember that.
商店街に行くには校門前の坂道をまっすぐ下ると近いね。
Give me a whole set of directions, and I'm going to immediately forget them. So this goes home. Well, what is this way? Park. Can I go to the park? No, I have to go the appropriate way, which is running in the middle of the street towards the shopping district. Check what's in the cat's eye. And you know what really bugs me is that all of the text is obviously a stylistic choice. Like, it's like a, you know, we chose to have the game look like this because we want kind of like the blurry kind of text feel because it fit better than having it be crisp. And the problem is that AI made everything awful. Here's our little idol. Like, it now just makes me look at it and I'm like, oh, this is what AI looks like. Which is, like, not really true, but also feels bad. Alright, so this one... Alright, so you're a vampire thing that's gonna move all my stuff. Whatever. Control deck. Heck, that's subete. Like, I'm gonna be real, I think the issue with this text is that it's not, like, fixed with. It kind of just feels weird.
全力でバトルしようね。
Oh, here we are in the shopping district.
強そうね。
These backgrounds are kind of weak compared to, compared to actual shadowverse. This is gonna update a lot. Hell yeah, it does. Let's get to draw cards if.
俺とこいつは2人で1人。
殺戮ショーの始まりよ。
Oh, it's crowded. fast little 1-1. So great with me.
強くならなきゃ。甘い時間を過ごしましょう。
Oh man, we're
少し
serious.
休むね。
That's not good. Do we want to just take it out? Might have fallen. She might have fallen. Let's see what happens.
我は災いなり
Will not go too crazy yet. And drop some
殺戮
destruction.
ショーの始まりよ。
There's some
この
good
手
things
で
here.
あ
I
ー
see
興
what
奮
you're
してきちゃったわ。もうおしまい？
doing. Smart.
なぜだ 我は天空の番人
Deal with my stupid ass
進
boy.
化だよ。
この空は何人たりとも空を汚すものよ
Drop your fucked up
まだ
health.
食べ足りないのに。
魔装の鎧素敵でしょ。
No destruction. No. I think there's the 3-4. That kills Pikachu. Fine. Well, got removal going.
抗うかならば燃え
It's
ろ
pretty good for mid-game removal, even though it's like
美しいな。
or
空を汚すものよ我らは選ばれし闇の血統なり乾く
he is getting He's a forte right now for no good reason other than I deserve it. I've been a good kid. This is again one of those things that is called technically lethal. I'm sure you can.
我らは選ばれし闇の血統なり
Forget it. She still is. You can attack, but it's not. It's not Storm. Storm is fuck it. Oh, she still is Storm. These out cards could have been killing me. We. Well,
これが我が波動。
ドラゴンさん、
空逃げろ
弱きはついえる。
これで最後よ。あなたは強い。
Can view a detailed analysis of your car's raw performance numbers, or see its expected place on the grid compared to the other
I got a
teams.
funny-ass
From the eyes of a
Valkyrie.
team manager, race weekends are busy affairs.
Honestly, a
There are
4-4
3
Storm
one-hour
is kinda
sessions of practice,
good.
followed by another 3 sessions of elimination
be
qualifying,
fun.
and then finally the race.
And there's an overtake from William
Sprint races are sadly missing, which is disappointing given how they've shaken up the qualifying format since their introduction. In any case, each session can be run in real time, but you can also fast forward time up to 16x speed to move things along in the quieter sessions. It can be tempting to lean on this a lot during a dull race, especially because it's so good about slowing everything down when your
我ら
attention
は
is
選ば
needed,
れし闇の血統なり
but I urge you to slow down a little bit. You'd be missing half the fun if you skip ahead. When your drivers are out on the track, there are 3 different views that give you more information than you'd find on the Ferrari pit wall. The strategy view gives you
Honestly,
data
she
on the
kinda-
state of
I
the
guess
track,
she's
your
got
cars, and the weather. Weather plays a huge part in Formula One race strategy, and predicting which tyres you should have on and the best time to stop and change them can give you a huge advantage in the race. That said, it could be better at pointing out some of these opportunities
already mastered
dynamically,
this card,
either
but
through star
sure.
suggestions or including them in post-race analysis. Then you have the data view, where you can dig into the finer details of sector times and other various statistics from the current session. This mostly comes in use alongside the strategy view for working out gaps between the cars you're racing and spotting other strategic chances for on-track gains. There's almost too much on display
Bruh.
here, and needs to allow some kind of customization to let you focus in on the details that you need at that moment. Lastly,
Yeah.
but most importantly, the race view lets you tap into the various cameras placed around the track, as well as the onboard
I'm sure it's
cameras
like a-
available on each car. You can direct your drivers when to push or save their tires, manage fuel and ERS battery use. And while this can feel a little overkill to begin with, it makes a lot more sense when you're in the context of a race. It doesn't feel like you're coaching your drivers, but rather gently advising them on how to maximize their chances. And miraculously, this never falls into feeling like micromanagement.
Ferrari, advance the race position! The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low.
Each circuit feels lovingly recreated from their real-life counterparts.
these little,
From the
like,
sun-drenched
fake
deserts surrounding the Bahrain International Circuit
for,
to
like,
the brand new
arcade
tarmac of the Miami International Autodrome, built under the shade of the Hard Rock Stadium in the Miami Gardens.
Oh, this
And
kid's,
just
like,
look
way
at
too
these
good at
track
this
and
game.
weather conditions.
Holy shit, he's
Clouds will
gonna
roll
destroy
in
me.
and cast shadows over the track when rain threatens.
Goodbye.
And the day-night transitions are just lovely. Despite some excessive
Toy
booming and a
Story.
few flickering artifacts here and there, it's both impressive and immersive enough to pull me into the action. On-track sessions are mostly well presented thanks to both the admirable cars and tracks, plus the surprising detail of using the same TV-style camera placement as they use at the real-life races. On the other hand,
Fun
the accompanying
treats to
commentary
have
from
here.
Sky Sports F1
It's all
presenters David
cards I
Croft
don't
and Karun
really
Chandok
need.
leaves a lot to be desired, with
That's
both of
some
them coming off
cards.
sounding like they're reading through forced
Cards.
smiles while under
Nice
duress.
card
An
art.
effective tire strategy could
Good
prove very
Wagamama
valuable as the
princess.
race plays out.
It's much more fun to listen to the awesome trackside
that
and onboard engine sounds, which even
Do not
includes
blow all your
real
money on the
driver and
Wagamama
real race
princess.
engineer chatter.
Card sleeve, or icon just get.
Hearing the
Stay
real drivers'
strong.
voices adds a layer of
Fuck the
authenticity
valley
I
here.
didn't know I wanted until I heard it.
Not allowed to go to messed up alley. That is rude.
As the late former voice of Formula One, Murray Walker, once famously said,
Oh,
anything
man,
can
this old
happen in
woman.
Formula One,
Oh,
and it
this
usually
ugly
does.
woman.
And F1 Manager 2022 brings that same level of
Don't waste
excitement
any
and
cards.
uncertainty, albeit in its
Multi-night.
own unique and sometimes awkward way.
Multi-night.
The racing action can be just as
Necro
thrilling to sit and watch as a real race, although it can veer into
Setsuya.
Hot Wheels with your brother territory when you start to see cars softly park
Economical.
themselves into the
You
barrier,
are-
They've lost
Season
control,
is that?
and there's the crash.
and when there's an
Season
almighty
promise.
smash up under a shower of sparks and debris before both cars roll away back to the pits like their
She's
drivers didn't just have the
gonna
biggest accident of their lives.
And that caused a lot of damage.
But the almost slot
Needs
car-like
to get-
AI racing on display still produces the same storylines and on-track rivalries we
go.
see in real life. And it's here where F1 Manager 2022 finds its stride. As different race strategies unfold and events take place, watching the field shuffle about, with drivers jostling for position and scouring through the data screens for any kind of advantage is a real thrill, particularly when risky strategy calls pay off.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
When the dust settles on a race weekend, you'll head back to the factory to decompress and look ahead to the next race. How you go about this will be mostly dictated by the stature of the team you start your career with. Take Williams, for example. They have the worst cars, resource poor, and need better staff and facilities before you can start thinking about working on car performance. Whereas a team like Red Bull already has a car it expects to challenge for the championship with, so you can focus all your resources on designing new parts and gaining all the extra performance you can find. Despite all aiming for the same ultimate goal of winning, it's refreshing to know that each team will require a unique touch to progress.
Honestly, slightly
Williams
concerning.
have got to be happy with their results here.
Just remember, everything you do in F1 Manager 2022 is to please the almighty board. You can get away with failing to meet the goals they set for you for a little while, but like any boss, if you let them down for too long, they'll bring down the hammer. You'll be given less and less budget to play with before being asked to leave the building and find a new job. The opposite is also true too, but even a soaring budget won't solve every problem. Once you're near the top and pulling in the big bucks, F1's cost cap regulations rein in overspending, so forget about throwing your abundance of millions at any one problem. This beautifully twists what would normally be a huge advantage of having all the cash in the world into another point of tension, so you can never truly get too comfortable with your position. Key staff will helpfully monitor and report through emails on their areas of responsibility, so you'll never miss out on important information like identifying weaknesses for improvement. But when it comes to making and acting on these decisions, you're given free rein to accept or ignore this advice as you please. There's no one right way to the top, and F1 Manager 2022 feels like it strikes the right balance between guiding novices in the right direction while not standing in the way of those who want to forge their own path to glory.
You've got the margins posted.
Even after my worst race results, where everything fell apart at the seams despite having what I felt was a concrete strategy and top-line drivers, I never walked away from a session in F1 Manager 2022 without a dumb smile on my face. Sure, sometimes the racing can look a little robotic and there are some key facets of modern F1 racing that I'm missing entirely, but this never detracts from the thrill of watching my own drivers cross the line to some high-level points of their first ever podium. Excitement and thrill of Formula One is here, in spades. For more great racing, check out our reviews of F1 2022 and Forza Horizon 5's Hot Wheels DLC. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
あなたの死が私を強くする私を葬る
Okay, that's a checkered flag. Don't worry.
この呪文素敵でしょう
Right left. Into a freaking dragon.
Hello there. Today, we're gonna have a look at Mercedes and basically just have a bit of a kind of strategize for them. We'll be playing on hard development hard race difficulty. Obviously, we're probably not going to be going through the entirety of the first season. The goal is going to be very simple. We're going to show how you can easily dominate with Mercedes in 23 with just making the right path, right sliders. It's been something that has been requested for, well, a long time. Every few videos I get, there's a comment that asks, can I show how you would do Mercedes to get them quickly back up to the top? And that's what we're going to do today. It's probably a little bit of a dead horse at the moment,
glad you can
but
fight.
we'll have a look at how we
People
can make
while
this
we
happen.
do this
If
game.
you have been enjoying my stuff,
And she has a Caribou for some
like,
reason.
subscribe, helps me out a ton.
Okay,
With that
thanks
out
for
of
the
way,
Caribous, I
let's
guess.
Get back into it, but yeah. We're
Gonna
going to go with
fucking
Mercedes, we're going to go
go
with hard
bomb.
difficulty, kind of need to, I think, to make it a little bit more interesting. And the strategy is going to be basically the same that we did with Williams, where we're going to be
Welcome to
developing the first car pieces
bank or
extremely
whatever that
quickly.
says.
Now we have
Not-
Bahrain in 11 days,
says
so we'll have to live with
Hopping
what
on
we
this game
have.
is kind of
But
cringe,
Mercedes
but
has an extremely good starting
that's not my
point.
problem.
It's basically the fourth
Take the
quickest
train
car.
somewhere.
We have a look
Do
here.
not take the train
Car is
somewhere right now.
currently
We can in the future.
about fourth best. They're lacking a little bit in high speed cornering, but they have decent top speed,
A fake,
decent
like,
DRS,
ticket.
decent cornering,
What does that
and
say?
of course they have pretty good brake cooling too. Although
Just all I can see is
not the
Ikibu
best,
Kudo
but
at the
that's
top.
not actually a big issue
Probably not
here.
Ikibu
So the other main benefit is of course that we have Hamilton, who is you know, pretty quick. And we also have Russell, who is also very, very decent. So we have a top driver and a very, very good driver. And that does make your job a lot easier because drivers do
I
matter.
don't know what that means.
Now,
He speaks
when it comes to
backwards.
development,
Decky.
again, if you are planning to play Monte with Mercedes,
like
a
hard
little
to
big
shift
factory
read.
is basically what you
Imagine
need,
you
so I
got
wouldn't worry about upgrading this. But I probably would consider getting the team up and the racing upgraded. We're not going to be doing that because again, this is more of a development
it's just
setting.
gonna be
I
the
would
shit
also
out of
be
me if
upgrading
it's
the helipad for more money.
I'll
And
probably
honestly,
this kid. Let's see what happens.
most of these are down to personal
about
preference.
girl?
Tour centers right now are very, very
She
worth
could
it.
still
We should
say
be upgrading these.
battle
You
shadow
can
verse
actually
just
see,
fine.
within 5 weeks, this thing will gonna.
I hope
it's
she
gonna make
talks
passive income.
backwards.
So no matter what you do, you want to upgrade that.
In the battle.
Helipad, I would also always recommend. But memorabilia, weather center, hospitality, boardroom,
You're like
not really
3 years
necessary.
old.
The weather center you can upgrade if you want to have a little bit more,
全力でバトルしようね
perfect forecast.
Ay,
To make the games look a little bit more predictable on rainy weekends. But in this game, it's actually good enough to keep it at 60.
Good start.
Keeps that little bit of uncertainness, I feel, which makes it
Ideal
more fun.
cards.
So with that said, let's go to the development of the car. And the goal is going to be fairly
hate
simple.
the
We want to develop a car
Dude, but not so much
that
new
will be
damage.
decent on Baku. Well, Baku, we want to be able to reliably win, potentially the rest of the year. And the way that we're going to be doing this, as I said, we
What?
have 67 days to develop the car, which is basically a little bit longer than you get at the start of the season, and that is why Baku is going to be the main goal. The first thing we're going to develop is actually the chassis, and what we're going to do is very simple. We're going to go airflow, we're going to sacrifice engine cooling and drag reduction.
4 with
The Merc does have a little bit of a problem with the engine cooling, so this
Man, that
could potentially
sucks.
backfire. But for now, we're going to go maximizing into,
see next round.
well,
5
the
so I'll just
airflow,
put it down
in this
as
case, the
useful.
airflow middle. Keep in mind though that Mercedes
Holding that
has
spell just
the
in
worst
case.
engine from a performance standpoint.
いかなる苦難に
One
も負けま
six
せ
are
ん
you
It's
kidding me?
just the way the game works this year. It's very minor though, so don't worry too much about it. But yeah, this is what we're going to do with the chassis. It's basically a huge source of medium and high speed cornering, which is what we're going for. We are going to sacrifice top speed cornering as a result, but that's what we start with. And since we are going to develop with Baku in mind, we could go ahead and just engineer, which is actually what we're going to do. Because what we want to do with the extra is actually see if we can get to underfloor.
Bird is going to kill me.
It will not be a massive game with Mercedes because of the fact that each 0.1 counts as a unit or a day of expertise. So we have 48 days plus 64 days
I'm tired
here.
of this board, I need to go away.
112 days worth of expertise gain.
Oh my god, why is this?
And it is independent.
Okay, let me read all your text.
You can do this. And
well, as far as on the board,
that's actually not
you're forward.
a big issue at all. And that is kind of what we're going to do here. Once again, we're going to be focusing on low speed and medium speed cornering. And as you can see here, this in comparison,
it's all backwards and shit. Oh, it's one of those decks.
With the chassis, it's going to be very good already for our cornering games.
Worst.
We could invest into some high-speed cornering ability too. You might actually kind of want to do that. But right now,
that's why you're backwards talking character. That's so cute. I love it.
We're going to make it because we are going to make another. We're gonna rush this one and put 6 engineers on it. Unless we have an issue.
Oh, thank God he can't overheal.
Underflow's done by the time we get to Baku, and that is the whole point. Now, running rush does have a little bit of a negative effect in terms of gaining expertise. But what we're doing here is actually not a big issue because the main idea behind running rush is actually to gain expertise and make better cards later. It is to get the most out of the cards that we currently have. But the thing with this is most of these paths have basically when you start saying all the paths you have are going to be balanced, and by specializing them, you are going to get quite a lot of better car here. You can see already, just by specializing side plots here, we lose a lot of top speed, yes, but we gain a lot of cornering, and cornering is kind of what we are putting a lot of our focus in. I guess I can have a look at how the car performs a few races in. And if we see that the top speed is
just yet. Good board presence, but I think she should do something.
But for now, again, starting season, you are going to have paths that are really, really poor because of the fact they are specialized, as we are doing right now. So again, it is all idea to get maximum performance out of your car. And once again, we're just going to do it, I think, kind of rushed here. Side pods don't use a lot of time anyways. So we're going to rush them, do like this, and it should be done in 24 days.
Got weird. Okay.
Now, the final thing that we want to do here is the suspension, and the reason why we do chassis, side pods, underflow, and suspension really is because of
damage.
Suspension, underfloor, side pods, chassis will have a probably just like 3 days each, 2 days to rush them. So we can delay getting until we get to back, and that's actually not a concern. So that is kind of like now, the reason, of course, why we don't on the side pods and
you got what you need to stay alive. Excellent. Simple. Congratulations.
Side pods are the best ranging tools. They will give you way more than the chassis can. And the same is for the suspension. They'll give you way more brake cooling than your front wing can. So that is why we're focusing on the area with minimum lifespan. I don't know why just with minimum lifespan to maximum. So
Nara's had anything, but
my factory drops, which is at the bottom. The gains you get in terms of performance.
I like how they actually gave her backwards lines.
It's more than worth that, and I'd recommend doing this in battle using. So this is what we'll go for. Again, we're just going to rush it, and we're going to put one extra engineer on this project. So, in about 25 days, we're going to have, well, the design process done for most of the car. And then we're going to be doing another underfloor, But we're also going to be trying to, as I said, get the
Tensai
get the
shoujo
railing,
no
get the
watashi
front wing,
ni
get basically a completely
katsu
new car from back.
de
So we're getting all the car
watashi.
parts development that we want to get underway.
I tell
And
watashi.
next up here, we're going to be dealing with the first 3 races. We have Bahrain, then we have 2 weeks later
This kid
Jeddah,
fucking owns.
then another 2
Flipper.
weeks. We have Australia. Then we have a bit of a break, 3 weeks, 4 weeks until we go down to Baku. So in terms of development timing, we actually have a lot of
Eddie,
a
naruhodo.
lot of leeway.
That's so cute. I love this
So
character.
that is
That's so good.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Now
tweet
the
this
helipad has
actually.
been upgraded, and again, I would really
Let us,
recommend you upgrade
throw
this,
up the
this one.
interstitial while
It's
I
really
do
good. The extra sponsor money can definitely,
I don't
you know,
wanna
have
do
a
it.
huge effect
It's
with
like
your
this.
team, particularly if you
Okay.
don't have a lot of money. In our case, it should be fine. And I do want to have a look at the sponsor obligations here. Merchandising is great. As you see, it gives us extra income over the course of a year. Race day factory events, I don't particularly like this one because it means that you're going to be losing manufacturing capability for race session days. And the factory events here, again, we just lose more manufacturing capabilities, and it's going to slow down manufacturing. Pit crew performance here, again, I don't feel like this is worth it for just basically 600,000. We're going to have a pretty shit pit crew as a result. Memorabilia room, again, this one won't matter too much, so I don't think it matters. But honestly, we don't really have any super bad events here. This one is pretty bad because, again, it's going to slow down your pit crew. The other two here, although they can be bad, unless you have a lot of crashes, they shouldn't bother you too much. So we don't have too many bad sponsor obligations either. And of course, if we have a quick look at the staff here, they're all really decent, all really good. Meadows is probably one of the best sporting directors you could have, and that is going to make your pit crew progression a lot simpler. But yeah, your staff here, not really anything you need to concern yourself with. They're all really, really good. Same with the drivers. You basically have a really, really good starting point in Merc in learning the game too. So can understand why a lot of people are kind of been asking for how do you actually get good with Mercedes. Now, in terms of your pit crew training, currently it's kind of hard to know what is a good pit crew strategy, mainly
Right,
because of the
back to
fact
it.
that fatigue seems to be incredibly high, depending on how you do things. So what we're going to be focusing on for this first month is going to
around
be
here. I'm busy going
basically
not the correct direction.
pit crew stop drills rather than
Hello,
pit crew
Mr.
time.
Cake Man.
And the reason why is very simple. Pit crew stop
I
drills, as
assume
you
you'll
see,
sell me a cake in the
basically the increase in
Just like
wariness from doing that over
Placid
the course
shop
of,
ad.
the full
Love
day,
these ads.
it's just 1%.
So good.
And as you can see,
Here's
it's
a
actually
dragon
fairly
bag.
effective at lowering that chance.
Shiageru
We had 5 sessions, we lost about half a percentage point, and that is kind of what we're going to be going with here. Personally,
Muscle me,
in
get
the
a
initial
buff
guide,
ass.
I said you could, of course, just focus pit stop times. It's not necessarily wrong to do that, but if you take into consideration the fact now
Rip.
that
Do you have any good cards that I want?
if we say do just one gym
Let's
training,
see.
we're still going to end up with a lot of
Turn your shit into
fatigue.
dragon.
You see, it's now 9%
Funny.
versus if we do pit stop drills,
Not
it's
really
going to
what I
be
want.
6%. So you increase it by an
okay.
extra 3% a day. So if you're going to do that, you're going to need a little bit more rest.
It's
And
fine.
particularly after sessions here,
Can't
let's
be
say
attacked.
we do 3 gym training sessions in a
Don't know
row.
that one.
What are we going to be looking at then in terms of weariness? Of course, Meadows is
Honestly,
an
I'm not
incredibly good
You happy
sport
about
director.
playing those cards?
So you
We'll
can
just-
actually push a little bit more aggressively with your gym training as Mercedes contra any other teams.
Unfortunate. I
So,
need like a good.
It's not necessarily a bad idea to put
I
in a
wanted
little bit
to
extra
wail on
gym
some
training as
dragon
Mercedes.
cards for my
But as I said,
starter
currently
dragon
I would really focus on getting the pit stop drills.
Or a generic model. Grass,
But that
grass.
is my personal, you know,
全力でバトルしようね
focus. And you can also go ahead and focus on pit stop drills
Oh my
on
God.
something that will be more effective. So currently we're on balance. Makes it
Oops.
so we
Didn't
can
mean to
focus
actually
on
start.
everything.
It's controlled.
But if you go to the wheel gun, it'll actually be more effective and lower your chances because the wheel gun is probably your biggest source of getting issues. So you can always go for wheel gun, and then once you maximize say wheel gun, you can start focusing on other things because as you can see here, it's focused on 5 different stats. But as Mercedes, you can kind of mess around with the pit crew as you see fit. They're all pretty, again, The spawning record is good, which means that your big crew has an easy time because of the way that the stats work. Higher the rating, faster big crew develop, upper limit to big crew skill, less chance of a mistake, or basically minimizing the delay from the mistakes, and fatigue. So again, Meadows here is kind of insane in that regard. Now I think we're just going to speed along to Bahrain. We have got Medical Center though, and once again we can just go ahead and upgrade this. We get an increase in 25,000 a week, costs us 150,000, so within 6 weeks we'll have made, well, after 6 weeks, under 7 weeks we'll start making profit. But let us jump into Bahrain here, and we'll see how we can perform before we get any upgrades on the car. Now, in terms of performance targets here, I'd say that we're going to be able to qualify both drivers top 10, 3 races. The reason why I usually do this as a beginning promise is incredibly simple. As Mercedes, you'll have an easy time to get in here. Money is not really that tight right now, so we can do this as more of a guaranteed promise.
Alright, what's going on today? I mean, it was a good starting hand at least, so I don't regret it too much. But
with Q3, both drivers have no issue, and once again here, we just say both drivers in the top 10.
Let's get good.
It's just a lot easier to do this rather than feel luck and go a little bit too far. But yeah, this is basically what we're going by. Guys, for basically setting up your setup, your employees, the racing itself. So I'll get everything set up, and then we'll jump into this first race, so we go through the upgrades, and we'll have a look at our performance.
Whatever.
俺とこいつは2人で1人
Internally, because I forgot how to.
楽しませてもらったわ。
Here's some things that get stronger later, but
俺とこいつは2人で1人俺とこいつは2人で1人
この大地を照らしてみせ
I've
よう。
seen this car before. I hate it.
相棒一丁やったろうぜくそ獲物発見行くぞ
Annoying ass Jack we got going here. They'll probably just take damage this turn. I think we can trade like this one. Wow, maybe with the dragon, see if I care. Or with the fucking goblin.
一息で吹き飛ばしてやる
我が剣に捧ぐ
Putting all your cards in the table until I see. Okay, fine. I will be annoyed by this in the future. The future is here. I'm annoyed by it.
Shinka だよ。
この空は何人たり空を汚す者よ
まったく
I'm dragging me.
人使いが荒いんだから。私強くならなきゃ。私たちの炎で導いてあげる。
我が正義に何をだ
進化だ
審判の時だ
私が落ちるだと
まだやれるのに。
我は災いなり
私強くならなきゃ。
Being conservative with my Evo points, to be honest.
ったく人使いが荒いんだから。ドラゴンさん、これで
It's obviously gas.
最後よ。
いい仕上がりだね。
いいバトルだったね。
I simply do not want these cards. Or that cards. That's from leveling, sorry. Nice. Oh my god. Have fun out there.
So we want to push both of these to low and rarely defend for two reasons. The reason why we want to go to low overtake aggression is because it lowers the chance of drivers making errors. It does say that it lowers the chance of an overtake.
I'm so excited to meet her.
Excuse me now.
Oh,
The chance of
man,
an
it is
overtake
super-
being limited is really, really low.
Really all my
so
cards. Oh man.
basically, it doesn't
That's
have
really
much of an
useful.
effect on your overtake chances. And
could
if
use
you
one
get
of
stuck
those,
behind a
although
car
I'd
for a
rather
long
not
time, then you can freely push this
500.
higher.
Look at this
But
expensive
from general
$2,000
point of
card.
view, keeping both of these to low and rarely defend,
One of my
you can
characters
have
pulled
drivers that
three.
would mostly
It's like a
crash
77
every 2 or 3 races and have them have maybe 2-3 bad
I do
crashes
see
in the
the
course of the
appeal.
season instead, thus lowering your costs massively in terms of errors. So I would recommend keeping these on low and rarely defend for basically every race unless you get really stuck, you can switch your overtake aggression. You never want to use always defend. It's very, very, very situational to use this one because the way that always defend works is that, it defends against overtakes.
Dude's got such
That's
a
going
normal
to be great.
face.
I'll go a little bit slower.
I love shadowversing.
But yeah, I'll
What-
defend against overtakes.
What do
That's
you
not
want,
actually
bird?
how it works.
Cat?
Always defend means that you are actually slowing down. It's kind of you're trying to hold up the cars behind. So at Monaco, for instance, a good way to describe this is that by running always defend at Monaco, you'll be 2 to 3 seconds slower than the average lap is. Meaning that for every lap around Monaco, you lose 3 seconds to the cars in front, and you hold up the cars behind. And that is kind of what always defend does. It puts you in a bad line, which means that you use a lot of time to get through the lap.
So it's
You
ski,
lose a
not
lot of time,
shoujo.
you increase your risk of lockups and corner collisions, so unless you really, really need to hold up the cars behind your teammate, I'd recommend you never use this one. Neutral, again, doesn't do much, rarely defend,
Use
you
the
should
what
get
now?
overtaken easily, more easily. But if you get overtaken, it's usually because
What
the
is
cars
this kid about
behind
to
you
blow me
are
up
either
with?
quicker or have DRS. So honestly, putting this rarely defend is again just a no-brainer. It doesn't have much of an effect on overtakes to begin with, and it does lower the risk of collisions. So, just want to quickly go through this before we get any further. And I personally prefer to use the DRS battle assist. It basically means that your drivers will use DRS to attack and defend a little bit more aggressively, but they'll also be recharging the battery when they see an opportunity. Now, some people don't like that because of the fact that, well, you'll have slow lap times while they recharge, and in general you'll be losing a little bit of time over the course of the whole race, but it allows you to not micromanage your ERS unless you get stuck on the car for a long time. And of course you can always do deploy, neutral, top up and harvest even with this, but it basically means that for the most part the driver will be managing ERS.
Like that, just like, goodbye, go back to your
Which
hands.
means your life
Go be
becomes a
annoyed
little bit
by
easier.
this.
So, not the best start here for us. Stroll had a better one, gets by Hamilton, but I think Hamilton will be coming back here, I would hope.
Oh, let's go on
And we have Paris Leclerc on soft tires, a lot of cars on soft tires. I don't think we'll be seeing a single car on hard tire over the course of this race. And as you can see, Russell 2 had a pretty horrible start, but we'll try and make the best in terms of the comeback. So once we get into the race here, again for the first couple of laps here, everyone will be running attack, everyone will be pushing fuel, deploying, and the reason why they do this is again to try and get an advantage early on. And
we don't have
they'll be doing
anything
this in
quite too
basically
good yet.
every difficulty. I believe they might let it
What?
work easy. But on standard and hard, they will be attacking for the first couple of laps, and that does make your life very, very difficult, as you were saying. And over the course of
loves
the
car
first few laps,
draws.
you'll probably see some DRS gaps, basically gaps.
I also love car draws.
And once you start running low on energy, you kind of go neutral. Now, personally, I prefer to allow fuel to go down to 1.5 to 2 kilograms every race, and regain it towards the end of it. We just push in the beginning. And the reason for this is twofold. Basically, fuel rate has an effect on lap times. The less fuel in your car, the better your average lap times. So, by using a lot of fuel early, you'll be able to have a little bit better race pace. Another thing you might be worried about here is that we are running red temps. It's not actually a problem. When you are running aggressive strategies, there's just one thing you need to keep in mind, and that's actually if this temperature right here goes over this one. So in this case, we still have 5 degrees of leeway before we get to 35 degrees, but you still want to keep an eye on the degradation. Once degradation doesn't actually exceed what you expect, you will be doing a quicker strategy than if you know, when not running attack. And we have a little bit also that still has overtaken Hamilton. But still trying to just keep up with tires for one, but he's also in a DRS throwing cars in front, so that's actually kind of what we expect. Unfortunately, Magnussen is overtaking him with help of DRS, so let's struggle a little bit here. But the AI is generally a lot more aggressive in the first lap 2 race, and as a result, you'll probably have a little bit of a
not taking my dragon.
But yeah, generally here, as I said, tire heating, the number is red, it might look scary, but as long as the degradation isn't higher than anticipated, the attack strategy is going to be quicker than any other strategy. Now, in terms of the AI, you can actually have a look at what they're doing if you go into the lap history. The car condition. And if you look at Leclerc, you can see that he's running soft tires, and we can tell that he's running attack. And the way that we can actually tell that he's running attack is incredibly simple. Every tire has basically, well, whenever you have a race, in this case, like medium tires has a maximum temperature of 135 before it starts to really overheat. The softs also have the same, a maximum temp of 130, hards 140. Each tire is 5 degrees within.
I see, so that's why she was saying I use
the next one, or the last one in this case. Mediums are in the middle, soft ones are softer, so they have a maximum temp of 130, and the hards harder, maximum temp of 140. And because Leclerc is running 5 degrees below maximum temp, you can actually see that he's still pushing these soft tires aggressively. He's also running attack. And that is something that we need to kind of keep in mind. The AI will be aggressive. You can see as Science started letting up, he was running attack for the first 4 laps, very, very aggressively. But right now he started to slow down, cool his tires a little bit. We can see the same here from Verstappen. We can kind of see him from Paris, he's probably running aggressive at this stage, or even standard and just cooling his tires a little bit. But for us, we're still running full attack. Because, well, these two teams have better cooling than us too, so the tires will run a bit cooler as a result. In this case, I'm talking about the race.
Good shit right there.
So you can use this to have a look at what the other teams are doing. You can see Stroll, Alonso, both of them are still going full attack, just as we are. And because they have a quicker car, that is why they're ahead of Hamilton, and he's kind of falling a little bit behind as a result. So, if you're wondering why you're falling backwards, you can always have a look at that, see what the other teams are doing. And if you can analyze the cars of your opponents and understand that, okay, their car is a little bit better than mine, and the drivers are on par with me, it makes sense why I'm struggling a little bit to keep up. In Ocon's case, it's different here. It's actually tire, which you can also have a look at. You can do this also before races, it's probably better to do that. But you can actually head into the pre-race report and have a look at the compound performance. And what we can see here from the soft tires is that they're about 8/10ths quicker on average than a medium tire. So, particularly early race, you can understand that Ocon on a soft tire versus us on a medium tire is going to have a pretty significant advantage. And Bahrain is kind of special because of the fact that there's 8/10ths of difference between the softs and the mediums, and the degradation difference is just 400s. So 8/10ths split on 400s equals 20. So with that, we can actually see that softs are going to be better than the mediums for around 20 laps, provided they run at the same level of aggression. So if you run both on standard, they're going to be better for 20 laps, same with aggression, aggressive, etc. And that is also an important thing to keep in mind. So if Ocon is running a soft zone attack versus us running the medium zone attack, Ocon is going to be quite significantly quicker for basically the entire stint. And that's also why we start on the mediums. The softs are going to come back to us towards the end of the race. And that is also something you need to keep in mind with your strategies. But honestly, nothing you need to worry too much about. If you want to go more in-depth into strategy and tactics, I have a video on that too. I'll post that in the description.
Thanks.
But this is just a general, again, information that you should know when you play this game. You can also have a look at the time considerations, your green flag, how much time you lose under a pit stop. With the virtual car, safety car, basically you save about 4 seconds if you pit under either of those. For now though, we're just gonna sit back and relax. And honestly, again, the first stint here, you will probably fall a little bit backwards, particularly running on hard strategy. On standard, you'll probably make it a little bit of a gap.
Second and obviously tweet.
But Russell
like
here
5
playing
minutes
around
to
with
recap on the
Magnussen
scroll.
isn't too bad. His confidence is gonna be
Finish the
probably
shows
going a
back.
little bit back and forth. Same here for Hamilton. He's actually suffering because he's been falling backwards. But once we pit, we want to try and get that confidence up and running. So while running mediums is okay, it can backfire if you're unfortunate. But what we can also hope is to see that Ocon, for instance, calm down a little bit. But you can actually see from the degradation here that Verstappen is taking a chill, Sainz is taking a chill. We are pushing. Every single medium runner now is pushing. Every single soft runner, maybe with the exception of Tsunoda and Gasly, are also pushing. So everyone is still very, very much going all out. Now, in this stage, you can actually just sit back, relax, speed things up a little bit, or, you know, watch it from any view you want. Watch it from first person, cockpit view, anything you want to do. You can speed it up to 16x. Generally, before the first pit stop, it's there's not too much you can do. Because, again, the AI is going to be very aggressive on this first stint, particularly in hard difficulty. The main thing you want to just keep an eye on is going to be degradation. Make sure that you don't use too much fuel. And as long as you have those two covered, you'll usually be fine. Now, Hamilton and Russell here are probably losing a bit of time due to the fact that we're getting held up by Ocon and Magnussen. You can, of course, use energy to try and create gaps. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it now, particularly with Hamilton and Ocon. Because again, Ocon is using soft tires. Once they start to really fall off, he's going to be pitting before us too. He'll be getting out of the way on his own. And Russell, let's be fair, although he's running with Magnussen, which isn't great, it's not a huge problem right now. And now that we see the first few soft runs start pitting, we are getting into a bit of an interesting position. So, when should
That's
you
what
pit?
I say to myself all the
Is it
time.
when your tires reach 50, 40, 30? Honestly, it's not actually a big issue to allow your tires to run down to 30. You'll see a little bit of a high loss of performance around
Sorry,
the
there's
40%
too many
mark.
fights.
But generally, running your tires down to 30 to make sure you can run attack
area
is going to be, in most cases, more than worth it. So I'd recommend just sticking with your strategy, even if you see others pitting. But do keep in mind that undercutting, which is pitting
like the
earlier
elite
than
four,
everyone
these dudes
else,
like
in
the
order
elite
to, you know, gain time on fresher tires, can be extremely valuable and an extremely good strategy to use. Now Russell here is currently up into 6th, but ahead of him we have Paris. And that's actually good, because now we can actually use Paris as a bit of a pulley. And if we really wanted to here, we could potentially use Hamilton to slow it down.
Not very much.
But we don't really, well, want to do that. We still just want to keep on doing our own race until we get to the pit window.
Dragon needs princess.
And
useful.
one of the things I would really recommend you figure out early is who are we going to be fighting. In our case, we're going to be fighting Alonso and Stroll for the most part. They pitted on soft tires, we're going to do the same. We are going to come out behind them because of the fact that they pitted earlier. But towards the end of this race, Alonso and Stroll are the ones that we want to be fighting. Potentially Ocon and Gasly if, you know, we have some incidents.
So fine.
But we're not fighting Paris, we're not fighting Leclerc, we're not fighting
Look at this
the
fancy
Red
car
Bulls or
with a
the
freaking
Ferraris yet.
Lamborghini here for some reason.
So we don't really care what they're doing. We'll let them do their own thing, and that's not actually an issue at all. And particularly early on, you might think that, oh, I'm in a great chance to cause some problems for Ferrari. But if you do, you know, go for cause some problems for Ferrari, you might be throwing away your chance at fighting Alonso, fighting Stroll. As you see, they're on fresh softs. They've already caught up to us. They were just 4 seconds. Hamilton was just 4 or 5 seconds behind them. And now they're basically about to catch him.
Good luck.
And the reason this is incredibly simple again, they've been doing a full lap here. Well, they did it earlier, and the softies are that much quicker. In this case, they're running about 2 seconds quicker than us. Of course, that might be a concern, but once we now pit, we're going to go onto the soft tire, and we're going to go onto the soft tire for both cars till the end, and we're going to be running attack. So we should be getting this time back, and because we went long on the mediums, when we're going to come out, remember it was 23 seconds, so
neutral that
we might be Gasly out here for Hamilton.
+2-0.
That's what we're going to hope for. As Magnussen, Ocon, none of them are in the DRS train. Hamilton with superior car, superior tyres, should have no problems just overtaking them. And it's going to be the same here for Russell. Probably going to come out behind Hulkenberg. But because we have, again, better tyres, better car, we should have no problem overtaking.
Show me if I've got any new drive.
And as we build confidence as a result, confidence is pretty low right now, we'll get some more stats back, we'll lower the chance of an incident. But as you can see here, qualifying higher and going along might actually be pretty bad. On a hard difficulty, this is going to work better on standard and easy. You might want to just start on potentially soft here, you know, to make your life a little bit easier. But this is what we've decided to do here. We might try something different at Jeddah. So here we go, first pit stop. It is kind of risky to pit them this close in case we have an error, but looks like we kind of timed it okay here. Hamilton gets out just barely ahead of Gasly. Russell gets out ahead of Hulkenberg, which is kind of what we were hoping for.
Meaty matchups.
And for now, they just need to get those signs of the temperature, and then they can start hunting down the cars ahead. So honestly, not the best pit window ever, but we did pit into a little bit of free air, no DRS strings,
it's huge.
and now we can start chasing down Stroll and Alonso. So we'll speed time up here a little bit. We'll be focusing a little bit here now at the first
zombie 11 girl.
And as you see, Gasly is kind of keeping up with us, and that is a little bit of a concern. But as long as he doesn't overtake,
I'm scared of dying, but I want to become a zombie. Fair. Happens the best.
Now Hamilton has actually caught up at this point, and this is where we might want to deploy, particularly at this once you have pitted. Because the laps after you pitted are the laps where your tires are going to be at their best. It's going to be the best chance you get at doing overtakes. It's going to be the best chance you get at the catching the car in front. And that is kind of what we're going for here. We also might want to just keep on deploying in order to create gaps to the car behind. In this case, we're trying to leave Magnussen behind and create a bit of gap here.
The background in this game is kind of underwhelming.
Russell is going to need to do the same things that we are doing, and we can actually see that Hamilton's tires are running a little bit hot, but honestly not hot enough for us to be in trouble. So we'll tune him down now. He needs to get the overtake done on Ocon, and he should be able to do so with a little bit of DRS here, and if he can't, we'll just try and get his down. So we're going to go deploy again, make sure that we stay close in the corner, and he should just fly by now, and he does. And with this, we can kind of now start chasing down Stroll. But we don't have energy, probably won't be able to leave Ocon behind in the short term. And if we want to, we're going to have to probably sit back and recharge energy to get that done. But for the time being, it's okay to just leave things as they are. Now Russell is also getting closer, but he has a little bit of a problem ahead of him here. And we have to deal with DRS, so that is when you are going to struggle a little bit, because Magnussen has DRS, and that is making an overtake particularly difficult. But a little bit of energy there, we can still make it happen. And now we should have no problem getting Gasly here. I anticipated, so as you can see, it is working fairly well, and we don't really have anything to worry too much about. Russell here is going to now try and deploy, get away from Gasly. We want to create gaps again, because we are going to be pitting once more, so we do not want any of these teams to be, running with us for anything, for any longer than they need to. The bigger the gap, the better for us later on. And once you've actually left them behind, like we have here, more than 1 second, you can tune down the energy usage again, start saving for the future. Hamilton on his side has actually caught up here to Stroll. And what we're going to do is actually just start a little bit of harvesting, because we can't really leave Stroll behind at the moment. He's also going to be pitting again. But this does prove that we're probably going to be able to get Stroll by the end of the race. Because Stroll's going to pit again, and we're also going to pit again. Currently, we have already caught up to him about halfway through this thing. So that is very true. Now the reason why we recharge our Slayer is because we want to have enough energy so that when we actually pick,
定められし
we
こと
can
あり
pull ahead of Stroll.
我は天空の番人。
真が私を強くす
I
る
don't know if that was
We can pull away from Stroll
beneficial,
enough
but
that he will not be able to stay
we do
with
a lot
us.
of damage
That's
right
going to
now.
be the goal here. If we do not give Stroll DRS, we can open up a gap because we are not currently that tired. Which will make it easier to take him later on when we do take the gap again. And we could do the same here for Russell because Optimus is apparently caught up with us
Don't
again.
have lethal.
So
Yoaki wa tsuieru.
that's not Optimus.
空を汚す
The same. But again, we need to remember who our fight is with. It's with Aston, it's with Alvin, these first few races. So, if Science ends up pulling Ocon back, we'll probably have to have something we're gonna have to
少し休むね
Yeah.
Now we're gonna speed along here to the final pit stop. There's not really much else we can do at this point. other
弱気は
than
ついえる
just wait.
これで
That is exactly what we can do. So.
強い
We'll speed along here to the final pit stop. Like I said, Science here isn't our fight, but we can use him to just try and stay with him. But again, you shouldn't, force yourself to do so. It's not going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form if you use energy or tire to stay with a car that you can't beat. You can use him to, get a little bit of a boost for a couple of laps, but I wouldn't use it for anything more than that. Now, Stroll here should be pitting within a lap or two, but Russell doesn't really have any energy, so we'll just leave him be as it is. Even if Stroll runs with Russell, that's fine. And as I said, we probably are going to be able to, by the end of this race, maybe jump Stroll with both cars. That's going to be the goal. But we're
It's so
definitely going to
funny.
need to run these soft tires into the ground.
It's like
we're
a
kind of
funny
doing that
little
with
absorb
the Hamilton at the moment.
Oh man,
you
they're
can see
like
that the degradation is quite
ridiculously
high. And both Alonso and Stroll did pit now, so we'll have to see if we can catch them. But I think
They're
that's the
definitely,
side that Hamilton is going to be catching Stroll, same with Russell, but we will not be catching Alonso. So currently our fight for both of our Mercedes drivers is with Stroll rather than
Yours.
Alonso, because
Cool
Alonso
cards
has just
only.
pitted and he's already with us. Unless we
Will he
say
make?
sacrifice Russell a little bit here in order to hold him up.
Oh,
Now,
that's right,
Hamilton
you
here,
can
we're going to
summon
do one more lap of both of
like
our
a ton
drivers,
of
which
guards.
isn't probably very good. We're going to go below 30%,
Fortes, of course,
and this is
cool,
when you
we're maxed
really
out
start to
on
lose
this
time.
Vampire
And
is
your lap times are going to
every
be
time
longer,
you play.
but unless you hit 20%, you should be fine in terms of punctures. And you can actually see just how much slower we are right now, because we're losing behind Science here now quite a bit. So
Oh, you can
is
make
it
this
a
car
good idea
cheaper.
to do
Yeah.
this? Probably not. We probably should have pitted and
Maybe
just
let's
ran a
go
couple
get
laps on
it.
aggressive to
Sure,
make sure that we
fine.
had enough tire. But we opted to take a little bit of a
Here we
risk
go.
here. And can we come out ahead of Stroll? Probably with Hamilton. But for Russell, it's going to be a little bit of a more difficult affair. But Russell is going to probably be able to catch Stroll by the end of this. And the main
Yeah,
reason is
neutral
because Stroll
here that-
is already on used soft tires. So
風の加護
currently, I
風
say we are in a very good
嵐
position to where we want to be.
2020,
Hamilton is
Zombie
just push
Town.
now, create a gap to Stroll, keep that gap going.
whatever. Wait,
And for Russell, it's try and catch Stroll before the end of this race. And that is basically where you're at with Mercedes for your first few races until you get an upgrade. You'll be fighting for 7th, 6th, 6th, 7th, 8th, maybe 5th, depending on how the races go. But that is generally just where you're gonna be at. And it is important to accept that fact that my car and my drivers compared to the rest of the grid, that is the best that we can achieve right now, and that is what we should be focusing on.
Luckily, there
at the
is
start
free
of
Wi-Fi
races.
here.
Of course, incidents can happen with safety cars, red flags, things that are kind of outside of your control that can change this. But it is quite important to understand what is my skill ceiling. Well, not skill
Oh,
ceiling.
this feels like Master
What
Race.
is
He's got a name. His
the,
name is Shiro. He would
What is the expected result in a race weekend where nothing happens?
Shiro is going to murder me at some point.
As you see right now, Stroll is getting caught by Russell. We gained 6/10 that last lap, so that is good. And once we actually catch up to Stroll here, we're going to go aggressive for a few laps. Because again, Russell's fight is with Stroll. No way that we're catching anyone ahead of us unless they have an
This
incident.
guy wants to helideck us.
So we're going to be
Sure.
we're going to be a little bit realistic here. And we're going to recharge, we're going to run aggressive, cool the tires, save them a little bit. Maybe even standard can make it work here, as you can see. Because the main thing that we want to do now is just recharge back to 100% energy. And once we've done that, which we actually did just now, we'll tune back up to aggressive, we'll go neutral. And we'll also just go a little bit conservative. just a little bit.
Are
We're
you
going to do the
cool?
same for Hamilton,
Zero,
just to make sure that we actually
nuts.
get down to 0 before the end of this race. For Russell now, we're going to
Man
deploy,
loves
and we're going to gamble on the fact that we
royalty,
have enough energy and
princess,
enough push here to actually get away
sense
from
of
Stroll
duty.
before we get to this DRS detection point. And if we do so, we should be able to create a bit of a gap. Now we were lucky in this case because we had Sergeant with us who held up Russell. He's getting lapped, so he's going to be a little bit slow in getting out of the way.
全力でバトルし
That
よ
is
うね
beautiful for us.
これぞ騎士の
And
バ
Russell
トル
now
でありま
has
す
to create a bit of a gap to Stroll.
Yeah,
He's up
this
into
kind of
7.
guy. Of course, it's
And Hamilton is
this
actually
kind of
gaining
guy.
on the task ahead quite significantly. He's gaining 2 seconds a lap, so Sainz might potentially be within our grasp. And that is an interesting thing to note here. Sainz could potentially be caught because, one, his tires are basically done for one stop, and that is going to be a little bit of an interesting end to this, because usually we wouldn't be able to fight Ferrari gone for a one stop, and that has given us a pretty significant tire market share towards the end. However, will we be able to catch him? That is a little bit harder to say really, but if we use everything that we can,
stronger, unfortunately, we don't
then
have
it's
any.
not impossible. But I think Sainz right now is actually getting DRS from, running behind back markers. And that is causing us a little bit of a concern getting that done. Russell a little bit too reserved, that's not a big deal.
Good shape.
It doesn't change his outcome.
Fortunately,
But
they are
particularly running push and having too little fuel to get over the line is a bit of a bigger concern here. Yeah, right now,
進化だよ
we're just running a tad too slow here to actually catch Sainz, and he has about enough
一緒のド
time
ラゴンさん
to make it to the top. So if we want to get him, we're gonna have to get within DRS, and to get within DRS, I decided to deploy. We might get DRS right now though, and we did with the help of Bottas. That allowed us to get
They're
on
big
a bit,
boys.
but I don't think it is going to be enough
最高の笑顔でお迎えいたしましょ
to get to the end
う
of
申し訳ありません
Kicking up 7
ご主
speed
人
right
様
there.
Basically,
少
that's
し
two laps to make
休
this
むね
work.
ごめん少し休むね
And while it's a bit unfortunate, maybe if we pushed earlier, we could have made it happen.
Whoa.
But that is one of those things that if I had a little bit better, foresight, had a little bit look on the pit stop,
Big
on
on
some cars, we might have been able to make it work. But it
should've
will
gone
actually
for
hit
5
below
too,
30%
almost
right now.
dead,
So what I'm thinking
私に
is
任
just
せ
gonna
な
push. We're gonna put
可愛
this
い
in
子
one
って甘く見ない
we
で
can
ね
close to this lap.
あとはよろしくな
Yeah,
Aru
yeah,
janeka.
that's fun.
Come this corner right here, and unfortunately we couldn't. And that is probably, unfortunately, the best that we could hope for. Perez wins the race though, and I'm wondering here, is Hamilton going to be able to maybe do something with DRS? Probably not. Probably not a little bit like that. Very good start. 6 and 7.
People demand big
While not
numbers.
perfect, you can expand before you get your upgrades. And this is probably what we're going to be seeing.
進化であります
That's probably what we're going to be seeing
やっ
for
と
the
ロー
first
ラっ
6
てね
the first 3 races until we get to Baku and get upgrades. We should also see some better results in Australia because, well, Australia will have some of the upgrades. But yeah, 6 and 7 would be good. Unfortunately, we couldn't get signs. We were close. And again, this is probably an error on my part. We probably could have gotten signs. More aggressive.
最後よ
That is fine.
負けたであります
So for now, we are going to speed things along. We might just skip Jeddah because I want to keep this in the video. Probably have focused a little bit too much on this race, but that should honestly be fine. We've gone over most things you need to think about in terms of strategy. And for Jeddah, we're going to go over a minor other thing. Basically, the fact that the way that Jeddah works is that it's a rather hot track, so degradation will usually be higher than anticipated. So we'll go over the scenario, what you can do in that situation there. Now, we actually have a second ATR period starting, and
Nice.
that is also something we need to take into consideration. Because ATR is a huge boost in terms of your
Not
car
fun.
stats. And we actually have
Oh,
this
this
first
kid.
science done here, the underfloor.
What's
And I
wrong?
want us to take a little bit of a look in the warehouse on this underfloor
Please
And as you see here, it gives about 45-61 in terms of cornering boost.
Office worker.
And if we go ahead and
What a
decide
nice
another
ski.
one,
Oh my gosh.
let us see what that gives us in terms of boost,
Forgot to
provided of
make
course that we
sheet.
run the same sliders. So this is a
He's
significant,
gonna let me to death.
significant gain. Not
I like how it's
really
like
low
my
speed
definitely
and
super
speed
good luck
cornering,
deck, and she's gonna
but
like
generally across the
destroy me
board,
with,
because
like,
that previous one
skeleton
loses a lot
boy.
of speed, it would lose us some dirty air tolerance, but because of the CFD and wind tunnel time that we put into it, this one's actually reached a significant boost in the, for the most part, the other stats than the ones we invested in, because CFD and wind tunnel time seems to be
Basically
more balanced.
強運を
Now
お
we
見せし
could
ます
also go ahead here and do this. As you see, we get a lot of high speed, and compared to the stats that we have on that previous end of the floor, we do lose a little bit of low speed. We actually gain a little bit of medium speed, and we do lose still a little bit of dirty air, a little bit of top speed. But this would give us a car that is unbeatable in the high speed cornering department.
Really enjoy
It would
grinding
keep
me down
fixing
first.
the
俺と
speed,
こいつは二人で
a
一
little bit
人
of low speed, and we still have the front wing to make, which is also going to be fun for low speed dependent. So we're going to make a cornering balanced underfloor, which basically does not do.
強くならなきゃ
And what we're going to do here is rush it again, put 6 engineers on it, although we want it for back view, so
Tiger's out.
I would think, because we just need to get 2 underfloors made before back view, so we're just going to rush it with 1 engineer,
私
and what we're going to do
強く
here
ならなきゃ
is actually use the engineer for something else. Once this chassis is done,
Cheat
we're
here.
going to start to make that front wing. The sides are done, we're going to be making a rear wing. So we're going to be spreading the
Sure,
engineers that we have available
cards are
in those two
power.
projects. Now, we could of course also manufacture, well, we
Man,
can't
you're
actually
really
use
small,
this
man.
application. We could manufacture that
Like
engine
it's so hard
have it
if
ready
I do not
for-
beat you before I like
have it ready for Australia. So that's probably what we're going to do. So now we're just going to allow 1 day to pass. Design has been completed on the chassis.
一緒なら
It's
ド
soon
ラゴン
then.
さん
got some
The chassis we are going to manufacture, so we're probably going to be making another chassis in the near future. It is going to hurt the engine cooling.
汝
That's
が
fine.
隣人を愛しなさ
Engine cooling is mainly your ability
い行きます
to basically it has to do with the
愛世界に愛
durability of parts. Your parts, your engine, your gearbox, your RS. The higher your engine cooling, the slower they degrade. The lower your engine cooling, the quicker they degrade, the more replacements you're going to need. So engine cooling is quite important from that perspective. Now, as you can see, I did say that I didn't like the manufacturing things that we had, and this is the main reason. It takes about 9 days to make a chassis, but because of the fact that we, well, 8 days, really 7 days, I think it is. But because of the restrictions that we have,
俺とこいつは二人で一人
obligations, it's going to take us 20 days. So if we rush it, it's going to cut it down by half. And we have it ready. So
Wrong button, idiot.
what I'm thinking here, we're actually going to rush it. Generally, I don't recommend doing this. And honestly, we probably will not have to do this.
I get bored like
Pretty decisive. But we're going to rush it just so we can have it ready for
悪行はそこまでじゃ
Australia. We're also going to be making 2 more underfloors, and we're just going to be making 2 of these basically as if we need to. We'll go back to those later. So we can go ahead and manufacture
But
those.
I need to annihilate a dude.
Now, I did say that we were going to make a front wing and a rear wing, so we'll just get started on the front wing here. And what we're going to do is actually
Wow,
push
still not
CFD
feel
and
silly.
wind tunnel hours into this front wing. Now, probably rather than the front wing, a better alternative might be a suspension, but if you're going to use CFD time, I don't mind then on your
Got space to smash
suspension
your
or front
board.
wing, then use it on those 3 first. And the main reason for that is you usually will be going with short wing rather than anything else for long run. And that is why we want to focus on the front wing, and of course also the suspension. Both of those. Basically what I would like to set up with the front wing. We could of course, as you see,
悪行はそこまでじゃ悪行はそこまでじゃ
which is basically how good our cars are probably behind other cars. We're also losing a lot of brake cooling if we do like this. So the main way is that basically the more slides you put to the right, it could also of course go completely into low speed cornering.
I technically
It
just
doesn't
need
be the worst idea.
forte.
And it would also allow cars to alleviate the brake cooling and dirty air tolerance. So we basically need to make decisions here on what we want to do for this one, because we know we're going to make another front wing after this. We're just going to focus on making one and one, just 2 slides and a little bit of sacrifice on the rest, because of the fact, again, we are putting in CPU time, so we are for sure going to be making another one in the near future. And because we want this done by backwards, you can actually see that we don't actually need to put any engineers in this, because we'll have it done in 30 days.
Oh, dude.
But also, because we are doing we can do it maximum rush, and with that, we can 2 front wings and 2 underfloors done before Baku, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. Now, in 4 days, we should have the sideboard project, and of course the suspension, which is going to help with cooling. And we're also going to be starting that rear wing project very, very soon. So, the next one. Torque center has been upgraded. Again, after that, it's a bit thick, but which is good enough for me. And with the sideboard here, we are going to go ahead and, of course, just manufacture them normal. Now, with this, we're not going to get it done for Melbourne. We're going to, of course, rush them again, which I think we will do, because it just makes sense that way. If you have a lot of problems to go, don't worry. I wouldn't really recommend doing this in any other part of the season, but at the start of the season, it's fine to do a little bit of rushed design projects, a little bit of rushed manufacturing, and then just keep it to standard for the rest of the year. And I'll be going over that towards the end of the video, why you like to keep it on standard. Now though, we'll get started on that final project last, the rear wing. And for the rear wing, we basically just want to focus on 2 things, DRS delta and drag reduction. And
give this an item.
the main reason is that we are sacrificing our locks, and I mean our low top speed with the cornering bit strategies that we are doing. And the main way that we're going to get that top speed back is going to be through the rear wing, and even that will not be enough. But it does help to get us back into, somewhat acceptable ranges. But mainly the thing that we want is DRS effectiveness. And the more that we focus on one stat, the better it is in terms of DRS effectiveness. But you can also, of course, if you really want to, let's say we're lacking a little speed
I was never in danger, but it's just so hard to get through everything.
Cornering ability as well. But the trade-off is that you're going to lose a lot more dirty air, and this one is kind of important because again, it has been following. So losing a lot of dirty air isn't really recommended, but we might have to maybe get this back through the underfloor, to the front wing, to the rear wing. Later on, we might need to make paths with gas and dirty air tolerance recovered. But for now, this should be probably enough as a rear wing. We'll get it done with a rush approach. And that should have every single part ready now, potentially.
Oh, it's really just like
Baku. We also have a suspension done in a day.
Whenever I dump cards,
so let's go ahead and get that suspension under there as well. Helipad, we're of course going to maximize it. Again, sponsor goals give us a lot of money. And for the suspension, if we can, we would definitely like to get it done by Melbourne. So we're going to go ahead and rush it again. It is, again, not super recommended, but for the first part stage, you can do it, and it's not going to be a big issue. And we are going to have 4 new parts come Melbourne, which is going to mean that we're going to be somewhat competitive already in Australia. Now, once you've done what we've done here, we basically end up with a slot that we don't really know what to do with. And what I like to do here is just start working on improving stats. So in this case, we have UCFD time on the front wing, the underfloor. The next thing is going to be the suspension. So we can focus sideboard, we can focus chassis at this point, honestly. Personally, I'd probably focus a little bit on the chassis. And what I mean by this is just doing a couple of design projects that are the opposite of what we've been doing. Now, we're going to be making this design, but we're not going to be manufacturing. And the reason why we're making this design is purely for expertise gain. It's based on doing research before research unlocks. By doing this, we're going to be increasing our drag reduction and energy cooling expertise on this chassis design, with small gains on the effluent middle. Basically, what we are going to be doing is alleviating the weaknesses that we created in the initial chassis design, of course the loss of the top speed velocity, the acceleration, and also the engine cooling. And after we run this project once or twice, we'll be making a new cornering chassis that we intend to manufacture, and it should be a lot better in terms of those 2 weaknesses. And again, we're not intending to use
big Shadowverse moment. It wouldn't be Shadowverse without Having
This
something where you have to
project will
win
run
5
on normal.
battles and it sucks
And
and
the
you
reason is
suffer.
simple. The longer a project runs, the more expertise you're gonna gain. So running a project on normal with one engineer is going to be your best expertise to money ratio. It's going to be the most efficient use of your money to gain expertise. We can run it on intense, but intense would give us 1.5 times expertise gain for 3 times the cost. Not really cost effective, and it's perfectly fine to run a few intense projects in the beginning of the season, but it does, you know, of course, you're a little bit at risk in terms of running out of cost cap. So personally, I prefer to avoid using intense, but start in teams where you're lacking, where you're starting with lower expertise. It can be really effective because again, expertise gain slows down the higher it gets.
Mr. Gloomy ass.
But for us, we're just going to run the project on normal because again, what we're looking at here is expertise gain.
Go
not
talk
the
to
task that we're
Ray's
gonna
sad
put on
gloomy
the task.
ass.
Now, with this,
Wanna do
mindset,
puzzle
we're gonna go through
battles.
Jeddah here.
Let me
really quick.
puzzle.
And the reason why we're going to go through Jeddah pretty quick is because we don't have any big
ごめんね
car pieces yet. We don't have any upgrades. We get those in Australia and then in Bahrain. So we're gonna just again speed to Jeddah. We're probably gonna end up 6, 7, 8 again.
助かるよ
But I will be talking about the degradation being higher than expected here. So we'll have a look at that in just a second. So this is the
Man, it's
situation I want
so
to talk about.
freaking gloomy.
And that's something I commonly
What a
have
failure,
to
man. We love the
Jeddah,
failure,
and that
man.
is that you've pushed a little bit too hard and now your ties have
I still am kind of
ended up
hesitant to
below
gender.
the expected degradation.
Just a failure.
Now, usually what you do is you usually catch this very early and tune down to
Holy
say
shit, we got like what,
aggressive
side
or
quest now or
standard.
something?
But in our scenario here, let's say that you haven't put it early and you're in my current situation, and this is probably gonna mess up your strategy a little bit. So, for the purpose of this, we've done soft here just to make sure that we can actually destroy the ties. And as you can see here, we run an attack. Degradation has been higher than anticipated, and the main reason for that is actually because the track is very hot, and also because it's very hot.
Because
in
my
terms
side
of
quest
the
in like 10
temperature.
seconds.
So you can have a look at this at Star Races, and then have a look at the temps a few
Let's
laps
see, in the
see if
lobby
you can expect
somewhere.
this problem, and then make
Don't
your
call you a space.
decisions accordingly. Now, once you get into this
Check out the
position,
vibes
you're going to
and
be
the
in a little bit of
full
trouble
use
because as well, degradation is higher than anticipated.
Rio Fantasy
How do I
14
deal with
ass.
that? Well, for
What's
starters,
up?
you're probably going to have to hit earlier, and you're probably also going to have to, you know, make your second stint in this case, the third stint here, a little bit different because of the high temperatures. So with this, we've already lost 5 seconds, but we've actually lost more.
The one
It's the
class
fact
I'm
that A,
missing.
we're going to need to pit earlier, and also because this stint has gone way slower than anticipated because we're having high deg, meaning that our average lap times are lower than what is anticipated from the planner.
Do I get anything from
So this is
practicing
probably
battles
what
with
you'd
her?
have to do to fix it. You're gonna have to run lighter
don't have- we're
to
missing
try and
class.
see if the leg's still high here, we're gonna have to let go even more.
Okay.
Same here for the hards, but as a general rule of thumb, the hards rarely, if ever, see higher degradation than anticipated. You're gonna have pretty low smoothness for that. So there's probably a pretty decent fix.
Oh, right, we're
Now,
doing the
of course, if
side
you're running
quest
a
as
super aggressive strategy here, let's say that you were planning to do something like this, you definitely have to probably just give up on this medium stint altogether.
どう
And what you probably might have to do instead is just keep on going full attack on the mediums. They're still going to degrade pretty quick, but you'll probably be ending up with something like this
Me like
instead
$1
to kind of compensate. And
Think
as you can see, it is a tad slower than running the hard.
And
So keep in
Flam,
mind that
neutral
you
that.
might have to change the strategies on the fly if you're running too aggressive, and that can be a bit of a problem.
Oh, you
But
can do the fucking twin
it
elements
will
thing.
be fine in most cases. It's
Yeah, sure, whatever.
it's an error that you, for the
Well,
most
that's
part,
even
just make
good.
once, but I thought it might be important
Not
here
really.
because we are doing a little bit of a domination guide that, you know, is something you need to
Looks
keep in
cute.
mind of.
じゃあね
So we just finished Jeddah, and it kind of went as expected.
Hooray.
7th and 8th, even though we did kind of a soft high test. Probably could have gone 6 if we hadn't,
We've
but
got
honestly,
quest,
for
you
the
know.
first couple of races here, this is kind of what we expect to be,
What
honestly.
a turbo nerd.
And now that we actually have gotten to the point
そこのゲート
where
か
we're
ら
going
バ
to
トル
gain
ゾー
some
ンに行ける
upgrades,
よ
that is probably going to change pretty drastically. And that is kind of what we're going to have a little bit of a look at now before we go
Fight
into,
night, I
into the
assume.
Australian Grand Prix.
言ったはず
We
です
do have a bit of
あ
a
なたは7ターンで敗
data
北すると
concern though,
放
and
て
this
クロノリッチ
is going to slow down all of our design projects by days. Now, currently,
This man
our
has
design
died.
processes are going to be done.
We have killed this man to death.
Basically, 20 days, 25 days is the one that we are most worried about. And if we have a look now on how long is it actually until we go to Baku? 28 days plus 28 plus basically this, so
Asshole.
38 days. And if we have a look then at the development, we can actually slow
it's
down.
crowded.
We can accept this issue.
The fun queues.
The main problem is going to be manufacturing the underfloors in time if we
let's
do
go.
this, because well,
Oh no, this kid is.
time to get that done. And of course, the front wing is also going to be a bit of an issue then in getting both projects done. So this is the kind of thing we were a little bit concerned about. Now, 6 days might not sound like a huge amount, but if you're trying to get something done in time for a race,
Prove this kid be like, okay, I can just like run on the stage and just get in the middle of people's fights. It's like, hi,
you are going to be
hang on, I'm just like messing.
32
with
days.
Hello.
I
Pay attention to
think,
me. I'm the real important one
We have
here.
39 days then. Okay.
Let's go.
39 days. That's just me being
This
silly.
guy looks like he
April
should be
28th,
strong.
32 days into
But
forecast. 39
He ain't
days.
really.
So you have 39 days to go on, and yeah, we're not gonna get the second front wing. We're not gonna get the underfloors in time. If we slow it down by 6
Enjoy
days.
or whatever.
So this is where we take a bit of a gamble, and the gamble comes in form of: do you accept this data concern? We can deny investigation, chance of problem worsening. Usually, you'll have to take a 2 to 3 times as bad penalty as a result. Or do we approve the investigation? Now, in this case, we can, if we rush, probably still make it work.
全力でバトルしようね
Shouldn't be an
Are you
issue.
ready?
The problem is going to be a
Why
little
is
bit of a
Spencer
concern,
English?
but I still think we
Get out
can
of
make
here,
it,
bro.
make it happen here. So, rather than taking
Sure,
the chance, we can improve the investigation. And that's kind of that will be up to each person, how they want to do this. But in my case, we're just going to go ahead and improve it, just to make our life a little bit,
I love
well, easier.
making
Now we have manufactured the chassis, and what we're going to do here actually now is going to manufacture another one. We're going to use spares. And as you can see, it's going to take 13 days.
Keep going. Get out of here.
And we'll just go ahead and manufacture one. So, okay. And the wind tunnel data concern here
じっとしていてくだ
did
さい
indeed
ね
discover that they could have escalated over time. So in this case, we actually did pick the correct choice, but of course, if there was no fault, then it wouldn't have been an issue. But cutting up 6 days here would probably be the better choice rather than having to wait far longer if we, well, didn't do that. So, while, while it sucks, there is just no way around it, and we're gonna be fine with
動いちゃダメですよ
this. Side plots, on the other hand,
動いちゃダメですよ
be on the safe side. And kind of out for hard with the exception of one, let's see how it goes.
ごめん
I like that
少し
for every part
休むんです
in store, but of course that's going to be difficult to achieve, particularly early on in the season. With that said, we'll go ahead and make another expansion. And now I want to have a look at the parts, the chassis, the side pods, and the underfloors. Of course, we can get new underfloors. And we're going to get suspensions on. So, with those 4 new parts here, our car is It's also apparently incredibly dominant and the engine cool. So, already, the car is looking a lot better. We are still a little concerned about dirty air tolerance.
This shit outside.
So right now, we could potentially start doing a little bit of domination because we have a pretty
進化だよ
game for most of these parcels, most of these stats already. But there is important to keep in mind that there is a far
so
behind
cool.
now.
Well, guess
That is really a concern.
I'll
Scoring
use
is
something
king
annoying to remove that
in this
boy.
game, and as long as you have a very good cornering
What do you
card,
have in your
it
deck,
doesn't matter
dude?
much.
Unfortunately for you, I
Alexander's
gotta get top
maximum level,
deck.
we can be happy with that. That's why we can extra responsive targets right now. And I'm very curious now on how we're actually going to perform it. Fast slap, go ahead and save both cards in Q2 and Q3. After that, we have a new
true.
underfloor. That is going to be a second edition. We have the front wing, which we're going to make 2 editions of. And we also have the rear wing. So we technically still have 3 more upgrades incoming. And we'll have a look and see how that looks at Baku. But for now, we're going to do Australia. And we're going to see if the car is probably now more than able to fight for podiums, or if we might be able to even beat the Red Bulls, and more importantly, beat Verstappen. So let's see where we're at once we're done with the Australian, not GP,
So cool English.
qualification. Alright, so not the best quality we could have had, but considering the differences here from 6th to 2nd, I'd say it's acceptable. It's within a 10th. Basically a top, well, 2nd to 6th, with the exception of Paris here.
Can't attack, but
Are
just
all
got
within a
some
10th of
bomb
each other,
swings.
so I'd say we are far more competitive than we were just a couple of races ago, which is not that surprising. And with that, we are going to be going with a fairly aggressive strategy around here, but it's nothing too really special. We'll just be going with a good old wild push and attack, and that is generally what we are going to be, you know, pulling off. So again, aggressive strategy is going to be the cornerstone of basically everything you do if you want to follow what we've done here so far. And for this one, we're just going to do a very standard, if you will.
I'm going to go annoy
medium
some
to
more.
hard to a soft tire.
あなた
Now you could potentially go with something a little bit more
へえ
aggressive.
僕の名前を知っている
It
シャドーバ
sounds
ブルに
weird when
入
I
って
say it like that,
ほしいと
but we can actually do something like this where we do either soft or
僕に
medium to
しか
start,
し
then we go on to a medium, and then we go
ま
into a
ず
soft towards the
シャ
end.
ドーバブ
But
が
as you
実
can see,
在
it's
してい
going to
る
be
かどう
slower
か
than
が
a
怪しい
strategy where you go full
噂
on
でしか聞いた
attack.
ことが
So
ありませんし
we're going to be doing
そ
this,
して
start on medium, going to hard, going to soft. It's going to be the quick
僕の
strategy
認めた
available
人
to
と
us,
しか付き合い
and
た
we'll
く
see if
な
we
い
can
んです
actually make our way up the grid with that. I think we can. I still think we're on for a podium here, so that is what we'll be going for. Let's see towards the end, and again, we'll be skipping most of this race because there's nothing really new here in terms of strategy, and we want to see probably how we perform come back.
僕に
So currently this is going fairly well for Hamilton. We have
here comes a boss
made our way
battle.
up to, well,
やるつもりですか
Verstappen. We have a few laps here to go, and we have a bit of a tire advantage.
Thanks for praising my
So
name.
I'd say so far this strategy has been working out pretty well for us. Russell's had a miserable race though. He's had a couple of spins, which has put him out of contention.
Your face is not
But
looking at that
Hamilton here is
angle.
kind of proving that the car so far has had developments that have put it to the forefront. Now, the main reason why, well, the car is at the forefront right now is,
we got whole
A,
intro now.
we have done a lot of development in a short amount of time,
go.
and B, the AI is probably not
Please
as aggressive with
witchcraft.
development as we are, so we'll be seeing them coming back towards this towards
超
Baku,
天才の
basically,
戦略
as they'll have the first
お
four
見せし
sets
ますよ
of development. Russell here, if I put a little bit more effort into it, probably would have gotten up to fifth. Was focused a little bit too
シャドーバブル
on
の実
Hamilton
力
here.
見せ
But
て
as
も
you
ら
can
い
see,
ま
you
す
can actually make a fairly
Time
dominant
end
car
です
fairly quick.
一
And
緒
again,
に
once
シ
you
ャ
get
ド
the
バ
next
しよう
three
よ
upgrades, which is going to be the front wing, the underfloor, and the rear wing,
お見
we'll probably
通し
get
僕だ
even
って
more
できるんだ
dominant on Baku, and that's kind of going to be the play here.
俺と
So
こい
with
つ
that
は
in
二人で
mind,
一
let's
人
jump ahead and get things done. As you can see there,
すでに
Russell
勝利
also
は
had
見
a
えてい
bit
ま
of
す
a problem with, well,
理解できますか
ここは寒いな。
second.
あなたの敗北は決定的
But this does put us into a wonderful position now where we are.
Trying to be like a super like full-blooded kid.
So let's see here. Next month here, we're starting with April.
このカードで
And other than that,
Crowded.
say. In terms of pick for training here, we're kind of going to stick with what we were doing earlier, which is going to be some errors for the most part. But we are also going to want to work on everything else. And you kind of want to try and see the crew working where they are for the most part. Here, actually, well, not into the tired state. So we're going to rest a couple days here before we start actually doing any training.
理解できますか
That should help us with getting into the well rested stage. Keep the well rested stage running for most of this training.
進化します
Be more beneficial that way. And we do want to do a little bit of just
いつか飛べるようになってやる
the main goal is going to be to get that average down.
あなたのターン
Goes
ですよ
well, you end up with more time over the course of the season.
So it's my turn, bro.
Errors, and you will be from just having a few tenths longer pit stops. And that is kind of the philosophy behind what we're doing here, focusing on international mistakes. And once again, we can go ahead and with that. Close it massively. And again, we have almost got to the max. After that, I'll probably start working on
進化だよ
power release and jack. But this definitely is going to help save us time in the long run, although already we've seen Russell suffer.
次は負けないぞ
Chassis has been manufactured, the sign code has been manufactured, that isn't actually the main thing here. The first design is done, and as I said, what we want to do now with this from the design is actually immediately start making a new one. And
I can't control
we have 21 days to get this done, so let's be honest here. Last time around, we're not going to be able to make a new one, which is going to be, of course, a little bit signature, but something we're going to have to eat, if you will. A bit of an error there. We're going to focus on low speed and medium speed cornering for this one.
He does like everything.
It's going to be worth it. We could, of course, also just go full on into the low speed focus, which probably isn't actually a terrible idea. But I think it's better for us to actually put in a little bit of medium speed there on the front wing as well. So this is what we go for. Even if we rush it, even if we put it all the engineers here, we'll only get it done in 20 days. So we could emergency manufacture it for Baku just to see the comparison, but we'll do this because, well, I want to get it done as quickly as possible. And we're also going to go ahead and manufacture 3 front wings.
Does some crazy shit I don't want to think about.
Anyways, so let's get them out there. Compare that front wing to the new boost one directly. So we're still going to have a front wing upgrade, but we're not going to have the maximum upgrade. Rear wing, underfloor, 8 days, 13 days, and that should be good. We're also getting some change here, and regulation code. And in this case, high speed or low speed changes. And these actually have a fairly big effect on this as well. Cornering, DRS delta is not as huge. I'm more worried about this one, honestly, rather than this one. So we're going to work on high speed. It's going to be something we'll have to deal with once we get there. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and manufacture this underfloor. And we're going to go ahead and make kind of a little bit of waste of money there, but that's fine. And since the only other thing that we're going to be getting
music is actually
those rear wings, we can actually go back to the other chassis. Suspensions, those are usually one that fail first, and then you have your side button and your underfloor. So that should be good with keeping up with things, if you will. Now, we're also going to go ahead and do a design here for the side port. We'll be doing the same as we're doing for the chassis. We'll be focusing on something else. Now, generally, FL front is not going to have a huge effect on your side port no matter what you do. As you see here, the difference between this is 0.14 G, so probably not worth it, but the FL middle is going to be in the long run. So we'll go ahead and invest in that. As you see, we're getting 100 kph, we're going to see engine cooling, but we're not going to be manufacturing this, we're just doing it normally to gain expertise. And we now know that anything that happens this year in terms of research is going to be limited to the front and the rear wing. That is why we're doing it. Front wing has been and the research period has begun. We are going to get high speed changes, and with that we're going to have to put the rest of it, also the high, medium, and low speed. Bad. We mainly are going for the front wing anyways. We're not really focusing on ability, so that is fine from a research perspective too. Well, sponsorship operations are usually because they just aren't worth it. Of the rear wing here, we're going to go ahead and manufacture that, and we need to get it done in time for the race.
I think they should have a normal battle,
but we can just start manufacturing 4 because we aren't really going to be getting money. I just got the rear wings in the future because, well, for one, we are having regulation changes that are hitting the rear wing. So if we're going to be focusing any of the signs, we'd probably be doing suspension. We kind of want to do the same here that we're doing for everything else, where we are kind of focusing what we are losing for the most part. So we'll do something like this. High speed isn't really something you need to really focus on this part, but it's always beneficial, and we'll just do normal design. We could, of course, start doing research, and this is basically where you have to make a decision if you want to do research or not.
I'd love to see what happens if you like beat this guy before 5 turns, which is basically
impossible. Make that decision. So let's go ahead
This
here.
would be funny if
speed
you
along.
purposely had bad ones on
Now
3
we
and
can
5
get a
like
little bit
that.
closer. Chassis design is complete, and honestly, we're just going to do another chassis design here. I usually like to do 2 or 3 before we make a new edition. And we're just going to do the same thing we did last time around, where we focus on the 2 stats that we have not been focusing on so far. And this will give us a pretty significant boost, but again, we don't really want to... we're not really going to be using this part, so this is fine. Do it normally. There we go.
Surprisingly friendly.
Suspension has been manufactured. Let us have a look here now at what the car actually looks like on
Way back to the club.
Baku. And remember, we still have a little bit of an upgrade left in the front wing. This one. And we could manufacture it. We could also emergency manufacture it, but honestly, it's not worth it for just one race. So we're just gonna go ahead and make 6 of these in a normal manner. It's gonna be the final edition front wing, most likely. So there's no shame in just getting that underway. Now, because we're having mainly big changes in front wing and research, I probably recommend using for the rest of the season 1 slot for your front wing, 1 slot for your rear wing in terms of getting research done, and the main focus is going to be the front wing. Well, the other parts are taking, again, 30% high speed, 20% the medium, 20% low speed. So we kind of want to focus the research on these 3 aspects, and then just get a little bit of brake cooling, airflow front, I suppose. So this is probably how we do research. And for research too,
Namesayer has entered the chat.
excuse me again, for research too, we're just going to keep 1 engineer on the project. We're going to allow it to run for as long as possible to get the most out of our money. And doing this, you probably will not be able to reach the 30% mark, but if you put in a safety period or 2, in this case we still have 4 safety periods, so if you really want to, we could put 2 safety periods of research into both front wing and rear wing. We definitely make up for the loss, more or less. Now we're finally at Baku. Let us have a look at what the car will be looking like. The new chassis again, we're not going to be using that, of course not. The front wing, we're going to be putting this on. And if we compare it to the other front wing here, as you can see, we're getting a huge amount of medium speed
You just got like the Tumblr Twink voice, I'm telling you.
But this one is a pretty decent upgrade all across the board. Dirty air, brake cooling. So yeah, we definitely want to get that one as soon as possible. For the rear wing, this is going to be a huge increase in a lot of stats, but once again, we're going to be suffering dirty air tolerance, which could potentially be a bit of an issue, but we're getting a little bit back to that with the new underfloor, which again, we have focused more balance, so it's not great for Baku, let's be honest, but that extra 0.097 Gs of high speed is going to be fairly massive on a lot of the other tracks, so we definitely want to put that underfloor on as well. And with that, we are now caught up on parts, and this is how our car looks come Baku.
Sorry, this man is not allowed to enjoy Shadowverse. The Shadowverse fun police are coming for him.
Lacking top speed, but that is honestly what you expect.
He's the fucking nerd who doesn't shut up. Oh no. He's like, it's fine. I will not feel bad if you criticize my deck. Please talk more.
But 50% is more than enough in the first season. We have probably sacrificed a bit too much dirty air tolerance here, I'll be honest. 44, but 3.7% is a little bit too little. It's still acceptable because we will not be running behind a lot of other cars. But I definitely would like to get this up over the course of the season, but that's going to be difficult with regulation changes focusing on the rear wing and the front wing, which are 2 big sources of dirty air tolerance along with your underfloor. But honestly, this is actually kind of decent now, and if we compare ourselves to the Red Bull, we have a 0.100 Gs to go on in low speed, we have just a little bit more to go on in medium, 0.5-ish, 0.05,
that's the important eating dinner.
And for the high speed here, we still have a lot to go on. But remember, now the Red Bulls have had their first few upgrades, they still have some extra weight compared to us, so
drama has happened
Red Bull
in
can
the
still become a better car than us, but at the current stage we are definitely better in terms of car performance. Let's have a look at, say, compare the chassis. As you can see, the Red Bull's chassis is more focused on drag reduction, engine cooling, but we're pretty close in airflow middle, so if they just turn the lifespan down, they're going to get a whole lot of performance. Their front wing is better than us. We have focused in on low speed. They have not. They've actually, looks like, more focused on high speed and brake cooling, as well as airflow sensitivity, so they're more balanced. Rear wing, we again have focused it. They have not. So they probably still have a couple of developments in
Send the good nights to the group chat
incoming
because I'm
here,
ready to
but
go
this
to bed.
is definitely a focused side pod. It has minimum spec, so they're not going to have any huge gains there. Underfloor, we're still looking dominant on the cornering, which is again what you expect.
Episode 3.
This too
Who's
is
the
a
last person going to be?
focused,
Is it going to be the
suspension,
fun
which
idle girl?
again more focused
It's
on
not
a
going to
more
be the fun idle
balanced
girl,
setup.
is it?
So right now, Rebel has a couple of pieces they still need to decide, but we have put Mercedes in a spot where they can potentially start dominating, and that's kind of the key here.
Dude, don't
Because
just
what
show up
we
in my room.
Rebel
What
were
the
the
heck?
closest spot to us in was the medium speed
Everyone is
cornering.
here.
But we have this front wing that has a bit more medium speed cornering. We can focus a little bit more from the suspension over the course of this year. We have 2 slots where we can work on designs alongside
Bro,
in
you
this case
can't
research.
just do that.
However, if you get a cornering regulation for the entire well, all the pieces, I recommend doing just research.
そんなこと言っ
Generally, for
て
this
ミ
case,
モ
we
リだって
can
さっ
actually
きま
do
で
2 slots
どん
research,
な部
2
屋なんだ
slots
ろう
design,
ワクワク
make the life a little bit easier. But again, if you're getting hit with regulations that are kind of hard and harsher across the board, let's just say focus research. For now though, we're going to jump into Baku, and we're going to
Group chat
go ahead here
has
and say
gone
that we're
off.
going to qualify both cars in the top 6.
実は
それじゃあ準備ができたら来いよ
And for this one, we'll just go ahead and say the same thing, both cars top 6. And be a little bit aggressive here. Let's jump into this, get quality done, and then we'll see where we stack up for the sprint. So with the recent upgrades, well, we are 1-2. We are just slightly ahead of Verstappen and Sainz in this
Let's go to
case.
school.
But the upgrades definitely have had a bit of an effect on our car, and it's a positive effect. We're
It's
now
not ranked up yet.
1-2 in quali, which honestly I didn't
Got
think
some
we would
tight
be. I think
quests.
Verstappen would have been squeezed in between.
Talk to
Now we can of course
Ohio.
get better qualities going forwards because the driver prep
Being a
ain't
good guy. Can I
there
go
at
check out
63
his-
and 65. So with high confidence we could definitely have had better results here. We're lacking some track
There we go.
acclimatization, we're lacking car parts knowledge. And again, once these go up,
What's
we're
up,
going to have
senpai?
an even
You
more
got a
dominating,
quiz.
well, performance here. But for the time being, there's nothing really to worry about. We are still early enough here that we're just going to go ahead and simulate the second practice right away. Usually you change to more worn parts, but early in the season, that just isn't, well, possible. And added bonus for here, 1-2 in practice as well.
Alright,
Now,
gotta
sprint
go.
here should hopefully be a fairly simple affair where we kind of run away from
Run
everyone
around the
else.
door.
That is kind of what we're going to be looking for. And you can actually run the sprint here on soft tires, full attack. You can also do mediums, full attack. And honestly, both of them are just as quick. So since we're starting 1-2, we're going to go ahead and do it on soft tires with both of them. And the idea here is very simple. We push, we get away from the rest of the pack, we 1-2 to the finish. And hopefully that is something that we can pull off here. It is a little bit risky to have 2 cars running together though, so we might actually, artificially, if you will, create a little bit distance to them. But for now, this should be a-okay. We'll see if we can have a decent start, and then just push away from the rest of the grid. So let's see how this sprint opener goes.
Okay.
Looks like we had a bit of a decent start then, but confidence-wise, you can see Russell is struggling a little bit. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem here. Decent start, we held on to our positions. Verstappen is falling slightly backwards, which is nice to see. But can we actually create enough of a gap here by the end of the second lap that Verstappen is outside of DRS? Because that's basically how I would classify having a dominant performance here, having a dominant car. If we can, within the first couple of laps, leave the Red Bull behind, I'd say that is dominating enough that we don't really need to worry too much if over the next few, well, races in terms of the upgrades. Because again, we can do upgrades if we want to. The main concern is actually going to be Sainz and Verstappen DRSing off each other. But currently, it's actually looking really, really good. We gained about half a second on the course of last lap. We're running just a few tenths quicker, let's be honest, but that is all you really need to start here. Everyone is going to be pushing. And for now, we're actually just going to speed along and see if we can maintain this until the end of the sprint. We're now a little bit further in, and as you see, we have extended the gap to about 7 seconds. And not only that, but everyone is running attack, so we've done it on the same level of aggression, and that is even bigger. So I definitely dare say that currently we are in a bit of a dominating car, and we'll see how it looks come the race itself. But for now, we'll just speed along until the end of the sprint. We're on the final lap of the sprint. The gap has extended here to 13.6 seconds. Verstappen is fighting the Ferraris, so it's a bit of a
there's
weird
one more
world we live in, but
tradition.
it's definitely promising.
Party.
13.8 seconds now behind.
You got me there.
Behind, we find the Ferraris, so yeah, we definitely take that as a bit of a dominant performance for sure. And we'll see if we can actually do that in the race itself. Now, as we can see that while running the soft tire, we were actually capable of extending a gap to
Kind of a shadowverse turn on
14 seconds. What that tells us is that it should be perfectly viable for us to start on a soft tire, then go over to a medium tire, then go over to a soft tire again. Or we could also go ahead here for strategy.
Serious side twist.
And, well, not add a hard tire there.
Hell
You
yeah.
could also go ahead and do something
Love
like
getting
this,
close to
which
my
is actually perfectly viable
base.
around here. Do a one-stopper, soft to hard. And while this is somewhat quicker, it does kind of require you to do overtakes, which honestly wouldn't be a terrible idea from the perspective of the fact that we are starting in first. We don't have a lot of confidence, but it does mean that we can do a one-stop, we can do a two-stop here, depending on what we feel like. And that is kind of, you know, decent to have in our arsenal. And that is what we're going to be doing here. We're going to start on the softs, we're going to go very aggressive, and we're going to try and create a gap. And if we see that the confidence is low,
Oh, the shy girl.
pit stops, we'll do
Let's
mediums
go.
if it's
Make friends
acceptable,
with the shy girl.
basically high or above. Then we'll go ahead and do a hard one-stop. And I think that is a good way of doing things.
Oh no.
Soft time behind us, but also a couple of mediums. That is going to make life a little bit easier. Did not mean to click that driving clean air, but it worked. Didn't need to
grass and shadowverse.
either. So we're back to deploy. And we had it once again a really good start here. Both of our cars got away nicely. We have a little bit of gap between Leclerc. And I think we're going to reinstate that 1 second gap here on the first lap again, like we did in the sprint. Which would be pretty massive, because again, as long as we can get away from DRS distance, then we are basically safe.
I like how the model
Because
is
the
like
fact
just like the
that,
shadowverse picture on it.
we have bad top speed, so they're going to be gaining on us under DRS. But if we can stay outside of DRS, outside of the DRS of the car behind, so we don't give them DRS, that alone is good enough here that we can actually extend this gap.
Pretty place will eat that.
全力でバトルしようねよろしく
Science
ね
is gaining right now, but that's mainly because Hamilton is falling down
Boy,
behind
should not
Russell,
sound like
and
that.
also getting to the DRS zone, that should, you know, kind of correct itself, although Science is incredibly quick. Gained about 3 to 5 tenths last lap. I still think it would be okay for us right now. This is really, really good, but it also works out because Ferraris are quick and the Red Bulls are slow. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to improve later on. But for now, we're very happy with just allowing things to run as they are. And for Russell, confidence is up to very high. Same for Hamilton. So we'll allow things to just stay as they are. As they overtake each other, they will end up with a little bit more positive, confidence from this DRS overtaking each other. So we have something in that order like that. Fine. And with that, we might just go ahead and switch the strategy over to one-stopper, because already we have about 7 seconds. We'll see as we get closer to the pit stop. For now, we'll just allow time to pass until we get there. We actually have a red flag here, but as you can see, I just want to show this. We are 11 seconds ahead. We gained about a second.
その身に天の祝福を刻んでやろう
20 seconds for a pit stop. We might have actually gotten ourselves in a position here where we could have pitted and come out ahead of the Ferraris. So Currently, we're looking fairly dominant.
希望は決して
So I think we're gonna do it. Just jump over the
Because we can't figure out that I'm about to put 2 5/5s on the board. So
I can see why
that's
that
their problem.
But yeah, what we're gonna do is incredibly simple. Russell only has 1 set
こ
of
の
shots,
境界に立ち入るつも
so
り
that could backfire to get another red flag. But I think that is,
Smart
as I
thing.
said, the best option we have. We go soft, and then we might go medium till the end. So that is the option that we have ahead of us right now.
We can solve this problem.
これでどう？この槍が折れるだろ。これで
After red flag, we need to go push the floor. Kind of like the other settings have been remembered, but we definitely need to go just push and deploy, and that should be fun. And Leclerc is actually getting a little bit antsy with Hamilton, so could be a bit of an interesting one. Paris signs stay on the mediums.
Oh, that's what the last one is. Like,
And
the funny
hopefully they will be
rival
holding
deck
up
one that
Verstappen
has,
on the soft tires further back, but we'll have to see. Well, also again, gonna be interesting to see if we can actually reinstate that gap. It's been an incident towards the back. Looks like it's just a yellow flag though, nothing major. The Reese bumping into
your best.
the Alfa Romeo, I guess.
Counting on you.
Kind of.
5 packs, holy shit.
Yeah, nothing major. So once again, we've actually pulled away from
Why should I
Leclerc,
spend my money on
kind
packs
of like
over?
we hoped for. And since the energy now is down to about 30%, we're gonna slow things down a
I
little
can't
bit.
fast teleport because I gotta go to school.
But
And sports
as a
open packs
result
go
of
to
it, we might see
sleep, so-
Leclerc catching us because I think he'll be
11
pushing
packs in
until
the
he's
hole.
completely
Let's
out of
go.
energy. But it should be fine as long as we, you know, reinstate the gap in the corner.
Hey,
sections
now we got
there.
some fun stuff.
That's gonna be the hope at least.
Satan. Oh,
And
that's
it
right.
is
He's the
looking
guy
good.
who
Also, we
that
can't
lets
get
you
this
do
going.
some
Verstappen
darkness
though
or
with
anything.
fast lap is a
He's
bit
the one that gives you like the fun
could
deck.
actually come out ahead and catch up to us.
Fun deck,
And what
like,
I do
actually
expect
good.
is that most cars
I
will be
don't
going
know.
over the mediums and just do
But
a
it's
one-stopper
fun.
now. So the gap here is going to be important that we extend it as much as possible. But so far it's looking good.
Let's see.
And with that, we'll just speed things along.
Tina,
and get closer to
約
the
束
pit
され
stop.
し戦果をあなたに
Now we actually have a
勝
safety
利の栄
car,
光を
and that is a
あなた
little
に
bit problematic for a few reasons.
Yeah, the
Reason
turn.
A, it's a safety car. Reason B, most of the packet is gonna pit.
You
Science, I don't think it's
don't
gonna
hate
pit.
it.
Stroll's probably not gonna pit, but everyone, say 80% and below, are probably gonna end up pitting. Now, because a pit stop takes about 15 seconds
really
and
for me.
a safety car, well,
got
safety
any
car
fun
situation,
dragon cards?
we can potentially pit both cars without losing possession, provided, of course, that Leclerc, Perez, and Verstappen does pit. I think they will, because we're going to be running behind a safety car for a few laps, and that is going to slow
me
us
get
down
Freaking
significantly.
card draw.
For Russell, we are going to probably end up just dragging him on a
Dragon
medium
Monopoly.
tire. It's either that or we put him onto the hard tire. And with the hard tire, he can go till the end. That's probably going to be what we do for him. For Hamilton, I'm actually a little bit unsure what is going to be our best bet here. Hamilton does have more soft tires, for one.
Let's see.
So we could potentially put him on the medium here, too. Gonna be a little bit harder to make it till the
Card
end.
the cheapest card and buy
Or
another.
we just do what we did with
get another.
with Russell, put him on the
anti
hard.
attack, It's fine.
And in terms of strategy
Card was
time,
slotting in there somewhere.
as you can see, hard here is just a better choice. We could also see if we put him onto the soft tire and then a medium till the end, how that will play out. Again, you can experiment with this as you see fit. Is that going to be any quicker?
Bronco follower damage equal to your highest power.
It's going to be quicker than the other strategy here. But that's going to also require us to
do
kinda
one whole
stay
damage or
ahead.
something.
So
I'm just gonna poke. There.
it's a little bit hard to decide, honestly. Because again, we could see Leclerc maybe decide to stay out, but I think
funny
since we
card
haven't
here,
seen any
yeah.
hard tires, that we're going to be seeing some now.
Funny two
And
poke.
in terms of the compound performance here from the hard tires, they are not great.
Destroy amulets. I don't
Take
want to.
20 laps before they become equal. The main difference is that we can push them. So for Russell, that is also a bit of a problem here.
Your neutral cards.
What do we do?
Not like a time.
If we were to put him on the mediums, how would that look? If we do a very aggressive
normal ass
strategy.
number,
medium,
that kind of
medium,
sucks, and then the funny card.
like so.
I mean, I love the funny card because if you draw it, then you'll have
that
the
looks
power to kind
incredibly
of, like,
silly,
win.
but it is quicker than
It's
going
nice,
on to
I
the
appreciate
hard.
that.
So I think that's what we do. We put both of our cards on the medium.
I feel like I would swap out.
Because we don't really need to take advantage of the safety car.
It's a good
Well,
fish.
we might
for,
as well
like,
do
I
it. Put
have
them on the
nothing,
medium. If we
like,
get a red flag later on, we can take deal with that then. And as I said, I expect the AI to pit here because they are really
rather than this
proactive at
board, like,
pitting.
it really just doesn't do that much. I'd rather go for a freaking.
That is Leclerc's famous "I am stupid" crash. So, as you can see, as expected, everyone behind us is pitting,
Maybe I want to put 3 of that in.
and we did it.
No.
We did keep possession, so there's nothing wrong with us pitting here. And we have cars going onto soft tires again. Leclerc, Paris, Alpha Sugar need to pit again.
So I can see there's
I would
any
think,
more,
unless they
but one of,
really
like,
want to extend them. We see a hard tire in Gasly.
It's not super useful.
Yeah,
I would
most
flip
cars
it.
say mediums or softs, so kind of what we expected. Again, as long as the AI
Work
is
with the
under
rest of
80% higher, even 89%, as we saw with signs, you have to go and refresh those mediums. They will go ahead and pit.
Okay.
And depending on how many laps we do behind the safety car here, that could definitely also
Well, it's time for sleep.
have a
Good night,
fairly
everyone. Thank you
huge
for
effect
watching.
on how much more
See you
extra
next
tire
time.
wear you're going to suffer. So, while it might look